Kak Sek lebih dekau.
Okay, good afternoon again. On the chat box, you can find a link there to Google Forms. Kindly click it and respond to it so we can get the attendance of those who are in this event. So please check your chat box. For those who are using laptops or computers, you can find the chat there at the bottom of your screen. And in case you are using your smartphones, you need to tap your screen and you will see there the options and just click chat so you can see the link there. So, and it says, dear participants, kindly fill out this attendance sheet for documentation. So just click it and something will show on your screen. It's just Google Sheet. Then just type the information that is required there, your name, your organization, your email address, and that's it. And you're good. You are counted in this activity. Thank you. We will be starting in 5 minutes. We can see the participants are now coming in. So we have people from Mongolia, from the Philippines, of course. We have from Vietnam, from India, from Cambodia, of course. Okay, Who else are here? It looks like we have a lot of friends and partners from Vietnam. We also have from Indonesia, of course. Let us see if we have our friends from the Pacific. Do we have Pacific friends here now? I hope they will come in soon. Oh yeah, I can see that we have FJ. That's Fiji, right? La Salini from PFON. Welcome. It's now evening in the Pacific. We are ahead, but they are ahead by 5 hours. So by now it's 9 p.m. their time. So thank you so much for joining us despite the time, no? A lot of friends from Fiji. Okay, so for those who have not renamed their Zoom name yet, kindly click rename. You will find it at the bottom, no, at the upper right-hand corner of your screen, your own box. You can see 3 dots there. You just have to click it and choose rename, and then change your Zoom name to the name of your country first, and then your name and your organization. So as in the example earlier, we saw that Irish, our colleague at AFA, she just typed there, PH stands for Philippines, Irish her name, and AFA the organization. So we hope to see this will help us later on because we are going to assign the participants to several groupings, and we would like to facilitate that the grouping later on because we're going to be grouped according to our sub-regions. So please, if you can just rename your Zoom name, that would be good. It will help perhaps if we have the interpreters now, if you can just announce so they can also understand how to do it. For the translators, kindly translate to rename their Zoom names so that we can see where they're coming from, the country, the name, and their organizations. Again, later on, we're going to have our breakout groups, and it will help us in assigning people to the appropriate groupings because it's going to be according to sub-country groupings or sub-regional groupings. We're going to have one for the Pacific. We're going to have another for Indonesia and the Philippines, and for Mekong region, Mekong countries, plus East and Central Asia, and another one for South Asia. So kindly rename your Zoom names so we will know where you are coming from, which country you are from. Okay, thank you so much. Now, I hope everybody is here. So do we start now? So, okay, again, if we have friends here from Europe, like in the previous days, we had friends from Europe. So that's good morning to all of them. And for our friends and partners in Southeast Asia, East Asia, Central Asia, and South Asia, good afternoon. And for our friends in the Pacific, good evening. So we are coming from different parts of the world, but we are here together to discuss very important matters that concern our organizations as farmers. So thank you for being with us here. And to formally open our event for this afternoon, this is the fourth day of the Food System Summit. Let us all welcome the Vice Chairperson of Asian Farmers Association for Sustainable Rural Development, Ms. Altantuya Tsedenish. We fondly call her Aggie. So please let us all give a round of applause for Aggie. Take it away, Aggie. Are you here? Aggie cannot
Okay.
open her mic.
Yes, now it's
Yes,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Finally. Okay, take it away, Aggie. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good morning or good day to everyone. It's actually 4 p.m. in my country, and I am from Mongolia. And today it's my honor to take the chance to have an opening remarks on the fourth day of our Food Systems Summit Independent Dialogue. So today's theme, as far as I know, it's the market access. So thank you very much for everyone who is actively participating in the 5 days event, which is jointly organized by Asian Farmers Association and PIFON. And PIFON, it's the friends from the Pacific Islands. So we are very welcome you all. And today, regarding today's theme, the market access of the agricultural products, especially the farmers' products, as far as I work in Mongolia for the Agricultural Cooperative Association, so I would like to emphasize that the role is played by the agricultural cooperatives. So if farmers will be more organized into the agricultural cooperatives, then the market access or then the market share of the farmers' products will be higher. So that's why I really urge the farmers to organize agricultural cooperatives where they own, they manage, and also they get their services from it. So also, as far as all of us know that the most of the world's poorest people, they live in rural, and most of them, they are smallholder farmers. And actually, the number of the poorest people in the world, in Asia and Pacific, also the highest in the world. So we really urge ourselves to change these food systems where, there's large corporations, they dictate, they control the food system of today's world. So we really need to change this, and we really need to actively participate in this national, international, regional, and sub-regional dialogues that our voices will be heard. And again, thank you very much for AFA giving me this opportunity to have open this today's session. And also, I really wish a success to today's dialogue and for tomorrow's activities as well. And very welcome all the participants on behalf of AFA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aggie. So you already mentioned some of the main reason why we are here, but to give us the rationale for the program, let us all welcome Amir to share with us the direction why we are having the Food System Summit for over the past 4 days and where it is heading to. So Amir, take it on now. Amir, are you here?
Thank you, Bernie. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to present the rationale of this program and also the participant here. So I am just flashing my screen. So can I flash my screen here? Can you share my screen?
Yes, we can see it, Amir. Yeah.
Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So as per the Aggie already mentioned that what is the outcomes of our food system summit. So for this is a solution summit. For your kind information, that this summit, some of the outcomes we already the mentioned here, that this is the food summit is dramatically evaluate the public discourse about the importance of food systems leading to the achievement of the sustainable development goal, and also the significant action with measurable outcomes. That is the one of the important outcomes of this food system summit, and the guideline for the member states so that they can in a track, and finally the strong monitoring system to follow up the everything. No, and for particularly this session, there is some of the objectives in here. So for our part, this inform, educate, and learn about the issues and challenges that facing the farmers members, our smallholder farmers in accessing market in local, regional, and global value chain. And also the identify the other innovative and game-changing solution, because we mentioned that this is a solution summit. So we have to identify some of the game-changing solutions that address these key issues and challenges. And finally, the propose some specific recommendation, including how stakeholder can work and connect together each other on game-changing solution and increase market power of the family farming, especially in the COVID-19 crisis. And I'm requesting to Irish so that you can flash the poll, and our participant, please, the response, the poll as the which, where are you from, your age range, and also sex, so that we can identify where you come from, how many participants are youth, women, and men, and also the where are you from. See the the screen, you can see the one poll, is working. So my earnest request to all of the participants, please, join with the poll so that we can identify how many participants are attending from which corner of the globe. Yes, it's going on. So the poll is going on. Dear participant, right now, so the poll is in, so that the 19 to 30, the young 19 to 30 age group, there is 45% of the participant, and 31 to 50 is 40. And I think the polling is going on, or so far I see that the polling result, no, but there is a no. Hello, Irish. I'm seeing that the only the blank polling, the sheet. Can you please show me the final result of the polling? Hello, Irish. I'm seeing only the the blank sheet. So far, many of the participants are already
Amir, it's
joining
okay.
with
We
the.
can, we can move on. I think somebody ended the poll, one of the co-hosts, so we can move on.
Okay, thank you so much. So back to you, Barney.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for participating in the poll. And also sorry for the technical glitches. Okay, so thank you very much, Amir, for having said that. This is a solution-oriented forum, but before we give the solutions, of course, we also need to take a look first at the issues and challenges, and to share with all of us the issues and challenges related to the agricultural value chain and access to market. Let us all welcome my colleague and friend, Jose Romeo Ebron. We fondly call him Jojo. So Jojo, please take it away.
Thank you, Bernie. Allow me to share screen. Okay, thank you. For a while. Wait, I can't play this one. Sorry. Oh. Okay, sorry for that. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, Jojo.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And good afternoon to all. Good morning for some. Good evening to others. And assalamu alaikum to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. And it's a pleasure to share with you some of the constraints faced by smallholder farmers. We understand that there are a number of discussions, a number of webinars, a number of forums that we have discussed a lot about issues and challenges faced by farmers in relation to agricultural value chain, their participation, and particularly specifically the concern with access to market, no? And allow me to highlight some of these barriers. Okay, and we have this already on the day 4th of our independent dialogues, focusing to access to markets and the participation of farmers in the agricultural value chain. So I will present the key issues and challenges along this line. But before I would share some details, allow me to share some facts. And it was shared earlier by in the opening remarks of our Vice Chair of AFA, that globally 80% of the extreme poor and 75% of the relatively poor live in rural areas and mostly work in agriculture. And right now we have at least 500 million of the world's 570 million farms are managed by families, making family farms predominant in global agriculture. We know also for a fact that family farming feeds the world, around 70% of the world's food products, and that family farming protects biodiversity and the environment. In Asia, where 80% of family farmers are located, they produce 19% of the global food. Hence, they are the top exporters of the food, but farmers are purely regarded rather as purely producers of the products or the commodities. There are 14 needs of farmers and co-ops, and I take this one from the Farmers Act in Malaysia, and it's good to use that as a reference. One, of course, is extension and training. You consider, no, I would not specifically mention the 14 needs of the farmers, but you can notice in the presentation, we have farm production, input supply, farm mechanization, farm credit, rural savings, transportation, milling, land bank, leadership, no, in the community, Internet of Things right now, and in the 7th we identified here, no, the marketing, storage, and warehousing. So these are the 40 needs on the farmers, and these needs actually are interrelated to each other, no. And when we address marketing or agricultural value chain, we address all the 40 needs of the farmers, no? And these are interconnected, and a good approach is how do we converge all our efforts in addressing all these needs. There are a number of constraints by small farmers. Of course, those 14 are the needs, and there are varying degrees to which farmers participated, no, in those needs, or even agricultural cooperatives or farmers organization. We know that there are a number of our farmers who have experienced land rights issues. Just last week we discussed about the issues faced by the indigenous peoples and in the rural communities, no, on the prior and informed consent rather on their communities when it comes to investments, no, being done in their communities. Farmers experience low prices for products. There's always the threat of increasing and an actual realization, no, actual reality in terms of increasing cost of inputs, the volatility of the markets. Of course, we experience also inconsistent farming techniques and lack of access to production technologies. Even farmers themselves, no, struggled for the interest for scarce land and water resources among themselves and even with other investors, no. We are faced constantly by the threats of the climate change, and this one is the one of the most significant constraints, no, faced by farmers, the neglect of agriculture in terms of the development policies. We have barriers in terms of value chain processes, one among which is the individual versus collective enterprise. It is mentioned by the Vice Chair in her opening remarks. How we be able, no, to harness the potential of farmers' enterprise through collective action or through agriculture cooperatives. A lot of our farmers have lack of quality production. We don't have the volume because we produce individually. Therefore, we're not able to meet the institutional or market demands. There's also an issue of transparency among value chain actors, no, in terms of the pricing, delivery mechanisms, no, distribution. And this is very important. The last one is the limitation on the physical infrastructures, no, the road access, transportation, logistics, processing technologies. In terms of policy environment, no, and there are a number of barriers and issues, no, one of which is the tariff, no, taxes barriers. There's still these nationalist policies, no, by the government, no, they put up quotas for importation. There are some issues on trade rules and regulations. In the context of cooperatives, there's still a number of countries which don't have a clear cooperative laws or policies, or even simplified registration policies for cooperatives. Farmers' rights and fishers' rights are still not very clear in terms of policies, and also access to credit and investments. There are a number of credit opportunities and investments, but still the major issue is how farmers and farmers cooperative be able to access this kind of investment opportunities. We also have identified, no, in a number of forums the barriers in terms of the internal capacity or the governance of the FO and COOP. I think it's very important to recognize this one, no, internally. When we engage agri-enterprises, especially when we engage through agricultural cooperatives for collective marketing, it's very crucial that still, no, a number of barriers like the weak member support and participation, no, there's still an issue on poor governance and management, the lack of the business skills, no, among farmers organization and cooperatives, no, the weak capital buildup and bankability. While we welcome a number of donors, we welcome a number of investments within the cooperative, it's still very important, no, that farmers themselves be able to put up their own capital. Weak internal business processes, the lack of skills in marketing. So things like that, no, that hindered farmers and cooperatives to engage in the market. We face also major barriers, no, like the climate risk, no. In the Philippines, we're facing 24 typhoons a year, no, and also to major, to several countries, no, we are experiencing major typhoons, no, due to the climate change. Social protection, we just underwent, of course, a major health crisis, no, the COVID crisis, and it's very important that the government and even us, no, the stakeholders who address this kind of barrier to protect, no, the farmers as well. And through these barriers, we saw the importance of cooperatives, as mentioned by the opening remarks. We see the importance of the participation of co-op in the value chain. This one through collective effort, collective production, collective marketing, and even branding, no. And we also see the need to transform the farmers themselves in terms of mindset, and also the farmers organization to go into agro-enterprise development. And of course, the other formula is to make markets work for farmers, no? Especially in terms of having a conducive policy environment, which is very critical to ensuring that the products will reach rather to the producers. There's a connect between producers and the market and the consumers. So this is the market system approach that we know would work, and there's still a number of barriers that I've mentioned earlier to make this approach work, no? Of course, we know that there is no magic formula for this. There's no a formula that fits all the needs of the farmers. But it's an evolving process for all of us, for the farmers organization, the government, the private sector. And there are a number of opportunities and initiatives, no? I think this would be the last slide. One of which is the value addition. I would not focus on that because this would be the subject, of course, of the presentations and the later part on the game-changing solutions. And there are a number of cooperatives, farmers organizations who not only produce the raw material, but provided additional value to their product, no, like what you can see here in the picture, no, the co-op, no, and then there's forest honey, no, and also public-private sector partnership, no, a number of cooperatives engage the government or engage the private sector to ensure that there's a link, no, between the producer and the market, and of course that would reach to the consumer. So these are the number of the barriers and challenges faced by the farmers, and we look forward to the sharing of the next speakers, presenters that will focus on the solutions and initiatives in addressing those barriers and challenges. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Bernie, for giving me time for the presentation. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much, Jojo. Okay, maybe we have a little time for a quiz here. So Jojo mentioned a while ago about the farmers and co-ops needs, and he mentioned how many. Can you type on the chat box how many farmers and co-ops needs he mentioned? Okay, so just type it there on the chat box, and I hope you listened well to just even notice the number of farmers needs and co-ops needs, okay? So thank you so much. That lays the foundation for the next speakers. And may I remind also for the next speakers, we are providing 10 minutes of your sharing. And on the 7th minute, if you don't mind, I will be flashing on the screen. Or I may be calling your attention to wrap up in 3 minutes so that you have enough time to cover the more important portions of your sharing. So thank you again. Jojo, and now let us go to the first game-changing solution. And to share with us the agri-financing aspect of it, let us all hear from Ms. Meena Pokhrel from Nepal. Meena Ben, Meena Ji, are you ready now? Okay, while waiting for Meena Ji, has anybody received?
Yes, I am here. Good morning
Okay.
to everybody.
Yeah, good afternoon, Meena Ji. Okay.
Heavy raining outside my home, so it's my internet is very disturbing.
Oh, okay, that's sad. So maybe you can just turn off your video, maybe just turn off a little so the participants will see you, and then turn it off after that.
Okay.
It might help your bandwidth.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so take it away, Meena Ji.
Yes, yes, I am here. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon from Nepal.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm very sorry due to heavy rain, so I have to close my video while my presentation. So I'll try to fix it. Oh, okay, could you please share my presentation?
Yeah, it is already there, Meena Ji. Yes.
Okay. Okay, namaste again. And before presentation, I'll just like to give a short brief on the NSCCFL, where I represent, the Nepal Agriculture Cooperative Central Federation. This is the Federation of Small Farmer Agriculture Cooperatives and similar type of other cooperatives. And it has two apex organizations. One is Nepal Agriculture Cooperative Central Federation, and another is Small Farmer Development Microfinance Financial Institution. And we do have the Provincial Agriculture Cooperative Federation and Bank as a regional office. And we have a District Agriculture Cooperative Federation also, and then target beneficiaries of the Small Farmer Development Microfinance Institution and NSCCFL are the same, that is Small Farmer Agriculture Cooperatives. And we have a group, an intergroup, and then farmers. And NSCCFL was established in 2008. It's the Central Level Agriculture Cooperative Federation, I have already mentioned. And we have the province, 7 provinces, and in all 7 provinces, we do represent district coverage 75 districts out of 75 districts, and number of small farmer agriculture cooperatives is 1,092. And this is the household which we have covered, and a number of people reach that I have mentioned here. And then, could you please go to another slide? Yeah, this is the game-changing solution for NSCCFL that SFCL, we have 4 objectives. That one is capacity building, and another is advocacy and lobby. And we do advocate and lobby with the relevant organization and government for the betterment of the small farmers, and managerial development and market linkage. And agriculture service, we are providing agriculture service through our service center from Triton and from NSCCFL at central office. And this is the one is capacity enhancement support, and another is the financial support. And under the heading of the financial support, we have, usually our small farm agriculture cooperative provides to farmers that agriculture credit through financial institution, and they receive the loan from commercial bank also, and government grant and internal reserve and saving. And for majority of these loan they receive from the small farmer development microfinance, as the majority of the share of the small farmer development microfinance institution is from the small farmer agriculture cooperatives. Next slide, please. And this is the agri-finance model adopted through NSCCFL and its network, especially for agriculture value chain. And yes, you can see the apex, that is SFACL, and then agriculture production, that is in production level, they provides the loan to small farmer agriculture cooperatives, and they also support for the agriculture transportation by providing the loan from and agri processing and agri marketing. I will brief about details in another slide. Could you please into another slide? Yes, this is the agriculture production system. That is, we usually provide 3 types of loan, especially designed for the producer. That is short-term agriculture loan, medium-term agriculture loan, and large-scale loan. It depends on the cooperatives and strength of the cooperatives and capacity of the cooperatives and their background history of the cooperatives. Usually in short-term agriculture loan, that's 6 to 12 months, and interest rate is 3 to 9, and target for seasonal vegetable producer. And especially in medium-term loan, 12 to 18 months, and interest 9 to 14%, and it's usually for livestock breeding. And majority of these loan is received from Small Farmer Development Bank, and that is directly channelized by soft loan of Nepal government. And large scale loan, this is for 32 to 60 months and 9 to 14% interest, and commercial farmers and agri enterprise. This is the loan which our SFCL is providing, and that is low interest to ensure equal access. And beside this, we do provide the technical support as and when needed. And we are also promoting cooperative farming. This is first time in Nepal we have initiated the cooperative farming in eastern part of the Nepal, and initiate AgroVet to provide the subsidized seed, fertilizer, manure, and producer, and agriculture modernization through the machinery support, that's power tiller for women and transplanter, all these things. That is for agriculture production. Could you please go to another slide? And this is agri transportation, that is 9 to 14% interest on vehicle used for both plugging and transportation. Affordable vehicle service by providing by cooperatives, and microfinance loan, that is, and partnership model adopted for the effective transportation for the agriculture products. And from this, majority of the cooperatives are doing this agriculture transportation, and for other is learning for them, as they can also do the same type of the activities, and they are replicating these activities also. And this, yes, please, another slide. And this is agri processing. Under the heading of the agriculture processing, there is 3 to 5 years loan for agro-processing enterprise to both individual and group for rice plant, turmeric plant, and others. It depends what type of enterprise they are operating. And 9 to 14% interest loan that cooperatives and private investment model adopted, that is in I have visited recently, that before the lockdown, that is in Pickle enterprise in eastern part of the Nepal. This is also the very sustainable enterprise that we can see that they have been selling this pickle since 4 or 5 years in the same volume and same market. And engagement of the producer for processing that seed production in that is also in the same that SFCL in Maharani Choda. Initiated joint agro processing unit in coordination with the provincial government, that now our governmental structure, local government is recently changed, and so they can easily access to for agriculture loan and agriculture support in local government or provincial level government, and they have initiated the agro-processing unit through the provincial level government, that is in another district, that is Dhanusa. And I have listed here that oil processing unit 4, rice processing mill 5, tea processing plant 6, that is within our small farm agriculture cooperatives network, and that seed processing industry 5, cold storage 4, milk processing 45, turmeric processing 2, honey processing unit 11, and apple and apricot processing unit 1.
Minaji, last 2 minutes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Could you please go to another slide? Yeah, it's the same, that is agriculture marketing. They are marketed this. I will just go to in model that agriculture produce, then producer and processing and marketing, that I have already mentioned this also. Please go to another slide. Yes, this is the axis of loan, how they do access, that is from producer and group to intergroup, and then development and submission of the business plan and approval by the loan of the management and subcommittee, and loan release, and then loan application process. That is all the process I have mentioned here. So please go to another slide. And this is the, I think some of you have seen this story, that is we have outlet in Kathmandu, that all the agriculture product which has been produced by small farm agriculture cooperatives, they can easily sell their product in our market. That is, we have established market system development, and we have 3 outlets right now in Kathmandu, and this is one example of the outlet. Let's go to another slide. And this is last that view from field, that women income has been increased after engaging in the commercial farming. SFCL has helped to increase the living standard of small farmer producer. That is the quote of the chairperson of the small farmer agriculture cooperatives, Bajrabarai, and another manager from the Maharani Choda, as I have given so many examples of the Maharani Choda, that we have supported women agri-entrepreneurship, and 50 female are engaged in the pickle production. That is the example you can see, and cooperative has been supporting our member with the various loan product. That's the statement from Kamala Pokhrel, manager SFCL. This is the situation of the field scenario. That is what thank you for.
Thank you so much, Minaji.
I have tried to finish my presentation within a time.
Yeah, thank you so much. You are on time. Thank you so much, Minaji. Okay, that was wonderful. Okay, so for everyone, if you listen to her, I just have one question. Minaji mentioned the different terms of loans, and let me please type on the chat box if the statement is true or false. Okay, here's the statement. 12 months is a long-term credit. True or false? Please type on the chat box. Earlier, it was Pooja who first typed the right answer. Okay, so let's see if you listened well. Thank you so much, Mina G. And now let us, okay, namaste.
Namaste.
Okay, so now let us go to our next game-changing solution. Okay, in the Philippines, it is known as rimas or kamansi. And in the Pacific, it is one of the most resilient product, the breadfruit. And PFON has a program on breadfruit. And so for our next game-changing solution, let us all listen to the video. Let us all watch the video on the Pacific Breadfruit Program, which is an interview to breadfruit farmers. Okay, are we ready now with the video?
Irish, you've got it? Or shall I play it
Yeah,
from here?
no, Lavinia, I don't have yet. So please share your screen.
Okay.
Okay.
So Lavinia, take it away. Thank you so much. Bula.
Bula, everyone. From the Pacific, it's a good evening here. And so I just wanted to share that for us in the Pacific, just working with the breadfruit on its own was a game-changing solution for us in the Pacific. Working it from, and the video is very self-explanatory. And okay, oh, I need to share the sound. Hold on. Oh, my time is going.
Okay.
Share again. Share sound. Share. Right. Let's go.
My name is Levi Torre. My name is Levi Torre. I'm a farmer in the Sambeto Valley. I want to talk about the Pacific Breadfruit Project, where I was a collaborating farmer as well as a researcher. It was a 4-year project established in 2010. We collaborated with a lot of people in the industry, namely Nature's Way Cooperative, representing the private sector, Ministry of Agriculture, CPEC, SPC, our counterparts from North Queensland, not forgetting our island counterparts, the guys from Tonga, Esros in Samoa, and not forgetting Vanuatu, Vincent Laboy in this group. We putting together a team of experts around the country that had a fair idea of breadfruit. The project was funded by Paddy One. This was the Pacific Agribusiness Research Development Initiative, funded by AusAid. This project was very successful, probably one of the best projects that came out of Paddy One. One of the outcomes from the project was the breadfruit manual. This manual will have all the lessons learned, and so future breadfruit farmers can look at it and reference it if they're interested in establishing commercial breadfruit projects. So the team got together and we put in 3 main objectives. One was to identify and characterize varieties around feeds in the Pacific. This was to see if we could expand the production season for breadfruit. As you know, they have short production times or periods during the year. So what we wanted to do was to expand the season and at the same time characterize these varieties for future breadfruit work. And secondly, was to establish formal breadfruit trials. This meant going to remote places, villages, in Viti level and Vano level, and making selections, bringing the material back, propagating them in nurseries, identifying farmers who would receive the breadfruit material, plant them in their own farms, and that's where we would conduct our data collection. And the third objective was to see where we could minimize post-harvest damage and try to make interventions in regards to how we could best look after these orchards. An example would be supplementary irrigation and supplementary fertilizing. As you know, we are moving away from wild harvest to orchard-style system. So basically domesticating a traditional tree crop into breadfruit orchard style system. Our primary market was in the Samoan community in Auckland. As you know, there are more Samoans in Auckland than in Samoa. We always had a craving for breadfruit for the social events in Auckland. And all the breadfruit that we used to send to Auckland were being taken up by the Samoan community and also the other Pacific Islander communities. Another market that we identified was the gluten-free market. This was for health conscious people. As you know, breadfruit flour is one of the healthiest flours in the world. And the project tried to identify farmers or institutions that would take up breadfruit. The whole idea was for them to establish these orchards and to convert their breadfruit into flour. We worked with the Tutu Rural Training Center, and they have basically made this breadfruit flour component into a business for them. So now they're able to supply people who are wanting breadfruit flour, but small volumes there. So, you know, it was basically a proof of concept, and it worked, and it's still working. Now we are encouraging farmers to continue planting. The project finished a couple of years ago, but some of the orchards still remain. Lots of lessons learned. One of the big lessons that we learned is when you're dealing with a tree crop such as breadfruit, it takes a long time for results to start coming back. And our project was only for 4 years. We really started getting really good information after the project, post-project, year 5, year 6. This is when production came online. We started to get some really good data in regards to yield. There was a market overseas that wanted our breadfruit flour, big volumes, but we could not supply at that moment in time because we still did not have the volume in place. Our season is mainly Jan, Feb, March, and in the media. One of the objectives of this project was to expand that season so we get a bit more volume. We saw that in order to get this big volume for our overseas markets, we needed to encourage a lot of farmers to plant breadfruit. The farmers in the West, as you know, most of them are sugarcane farmers. They were very hesitant planting breadfruit initially, especially the farmers in the villages. The mindset there is, you know, why do you have to plant breadfruit when there's a lot of breadfruit around the villages, in the periphery of the villages, in the plantations. For us, we were trying to basically transition from wild harvest and move into orchard-style system. That was the gist of the whole project. If you look at the previous value chain, where farmers used to climb the breadfruit tree and drop breadfruit from high elevation, and that had a lot of post-harvest damages to the breadfruit itself. So we looked into that problem. We found out that the best way to minimize the damages was to make some interventions. One of them being pruning, keeping the breadfruit short. Really what we're trying to achieve was low-bearing, heavy-bearing fruit. So that was one of the outcomes of the project. So from the 40-odd farmers that we worked with, today we have, I think, around just 7 orchards still left. Yeah. But overall, the project was a success.
The Pacific Breadfruit and Seeds Project is a project that then morphed from the Pacific Breadfruit Project. So this project is PFON's farm organizations members' response to mitigate against climate change. And it took a couple of years since 2013 to put the project together. There was various studies, there was technical collaborations, and then organically the project began to fall together as the members obtained the lessons learned from the Pacific Breadfruit Project. What PFON then did was take the results from Fiji's breadfruit orchard development under the Pacific Breadfruit Project and scaled it up into its PFON network with all its members around the Pacific in our 9 countries. So interestingly, for our members in PFON that are underdoing this project, they're not just talking about it, they're actually walking the talk through this project. And from here, we have now gone virtual.
The Breadfruit People is an online virtual community. We hope to bring people that are working with the crop to connect with those that are interested in the crop. It's a platform that has everything from how to grow breadfruit to how to use breadfruit. We have resources on the platform, and there's many resources from all over the world. We've just finished our first webinar series, and this is different ways in which we can connect with each other. We've got our social media platforms such as Facebook and YouTube. We also have monthly emails that go out to our members. So the Breadfruit People really is a way that we can all connect, we can all share, and we can all discover. We believe that breadfruit is the crop of the future. It is a sustainable crop. It's environmentally friendly, and it's just an underutilized crop. We want to be able to share that with everybody. We want everyone to feel our passion for the crop. So our regular webinar series aims at connecting people already using the crop with those that want to use the crop. And the topic varies. You've got topics that start from planting to topics such as the uses of breadfruit. The uses of breadfruit is so wide. We're hoping to connect people through a shared interest of breadfruit. We've sent out our first monthly newsletter, and the response has been very positive. We've established our website, and it's now live online. We also have a YouTube channel where all 4 of our webinars are now live, and we also have a social media platform called Facebook, which we hope that more people will be able to connect with us through that page. So we're hoping that everyone has that one common goal where we want people to get nutritious and healthy food, and we believe that breadfruit can assist with this. So the Breadfruit People, again, is a virtual community. We hope that everybody will connect with us on that platform, and we look forward to welcoming you all.
Thank you so much, Lavinia. Okay, so I am tempted to talk about and make a quiz out of the flowers on the ears, but okay, never mind. So for our quiz, before we go to the next initiative, what is it that can be made out of breadfruit that is gluten-free? Okay, if you know the answer, type it on the chat box. What is it that can be made out of breadfruit that is gluten-free? For those who have allergies to gluten, this is the answer, breadfruit. Okay, so for the next presentation, it will be in Gujarati. So those who speak the language, please stay tuned and turn your interpretation off. But for the rest of the participants, including our interpreters, kindly click on the English channel so we can all listen to the English translation of the presentation. So the next game-changing solution is about women and women who are into marketing. So to share with us their experience at SEWA, let us all welcome Saki Ben Ahir. Take it away, Saki Ben. Namaste.
So તમે બોલો હું
નમસ્તે, મારું નામ સખી છે. હું ભારતના ગુજરાત રાજ્યના પાટણ જિલ્લાના ઘોઘાવાડા ગામમાંથી આવું છું. Namaste, my name is Sakiben Ahir. I am from a small village of India, which is named Tukawada of Gujarat state. હું છેલ્લા 12 વર્ષથી સેવા સાથે જોડાયેલી છું. હું મારા પરિવારમાંથી સેવાની ત્રીજી પેઢી છું અને સેવામાં જે સભ્ય તરીકે કામ કરું છું અને હું આજે સેવામાં એક યુવા કેમ્પ તરીકે જે ખેતી છે તેમાં એક માસ્ટર ટ્રેનર તરીકેનું કામ કરું છું અને જે આફાની યુવા સમિતિ છે તેમાં હું ટ્રેઝરર તરીકે ચૂંટાયેલી છું.
I'm a member of SEVA since the last 12 years, and I am also a third generation from my family as a member of SEVA. As a member of SEVA, I have grown as a youth leader, a master trainer of agriculture and treasurer of AFA Youth Committee.
એટલે કે સેવા વિશે કહું તો સેવા સેલ્ફ એમ્પ્લોયડ વુમન એસોસિએશન અનૌપચારિક ક્ષેત્રની ગરીબ સ્વરોજગારી જે મહિલા છે તેના કામદારોની સભ્ય આધારિત સંસ્થા છે.
Self-Employed Women's Association, SEVA, is a member-based organization of poor self-employed women workers of informal sectors.
સેવાની ગ્રામીણ સંસ્થાઓનો અભિગમ સ્થાનિક સભ્યોની જરૂરિયાતો અને માગણીઓને ઓળખવા માટે અને સરકારની જે વિકાસલક્ષી કાર્યક્રમો છે તેની સાથે તેની જરૂરિયાતોને પહોંચી વળવા અથવા કાર્યક્રમોની ગોઠવણ માટે પૂરો ટેકો પૂરો પાડવાનું કામ સેવા કરે છે.
The approach of SEVA's rural organization has been to identify the needs and address and demands of the local members and provide support to organize programs to address the need or link with the government's development program.
એટલે કે ખેતી ઝુંબેશ કેમ તો સેવાના મતે ખેડૂતોના પ્રશ્નો અને મુશ્કેલીઓનો અહેસાસ કર્યો અને તેમની જરૂરિયાતોને ઓળખી પછી તેની સેવાના સભ્યો 1995 માં ટકાઉ કૃષિના અભિયાનને શરૂઆત કરી.
By agriculture campaign, having realized the issues and constraints of farmers and identified their needs, SEVA's member launched a sustainable agriculture campaign in 1995.
આ ઝુંબેશનો મુખ્ય ઉદ્દેશ એ છે કે ખેડૂત ભૂખો કેમ રહે છે. હાલ સેવાના કુલ સભ્યોમાંથી 35 થી 40% સભ્યો છે જે યુવાન ખેડૂતો છે.
The main objective of the campaign is why does the farmer remain hungry? 35 to 40% of SEVA's membership comes from the young generation.
સેવાના મતે યુવા પેઢીને કેવો સામનો કરવો પડે છે તેના મુખ્ય મુદ્દાઓ શું હોઈ શકે તો તેમાં આપણે પહેલો જોઈએ તો શિક્ષિત અને જાણકારી હોવાથી નોકરી કરવા માંગે છે. બીજું છે કે તેઓ વધુ રોકડ પાક ઉગાડે છે તેથી તેઓ ખોરાક અથવા અનાજની જે વસ્તુઓ છે તે ખરીદવા માટે બજારમાં તેમને જવું પડે છે અને ઊંચી જે કિંમત હોય છે તેમને ચૂકવવી પડે છે.
Challenges that are faced by young women in agriculture are being educated and informed they want to do the jobs. Second is those in farming grow cash crops, so they have to go to the market to buy food or cereal crops which are of high price but low quality.
અને બીજું એ કે તેમને જે પરંપરાગત ખેતી છે તેની પદ્ધતિઓને તેમને જાણકારીનો અભાવ હોય છે અને ત્રીજું એ પણ છે કે વેચાણ માટે એમને બજાર નથી મળતી હોતી તો એના માટે આપણે શું કરવું જોઈએ એની પણ આપણે ગોઠવણ કેવી રીતે કરવી એ પણ હોય છે.
The third point is lack of knowledge of traditional farming methods. Fourth is access to market, low price because of intermediaries and local traders.
અને સેવાના ઝુંબેશનો અભિગમ શું છે તો કે યુવા પેઢીમાં ટકાઉ ખેતીને કેવી રીતે પ્રોત્સાહન આપવું, તેને સંગઠિત તાકાતમાં કેવી રીતે વધારો કરવો, તેની ક્ષમતાનું નિર્માણ કેવી રીતે કરવું, તેની ખાદ્ય સુરક્ષાઓને ખાતરી કેવી રીતે આપવું, તે સ્થાનિક ક્ષેત્રે તેને મજબૂત કેવી રીતે બનાવવું તે બધા મુદ્દાઓને લઈ અને સેવા તેમના ઝુંબેશ ચલાવી રહી છે.
SEVA's campaign approach under the youth leadership is promoting sustainable farming methods among the young generation, organized strength to ensure food security, capacity building, strengthening local economy, providing access to financial and marketing services.
સેવા દ્વારા યુવા પેઢીમાં ટકાઉ ખેતીની પદ્ધતિઓ છે તેને પ્રોત્સાહન આપવું, જે ખોરાક છે તેની જે સલામતી છે તેના માટે કાર્યક્ષમતામાં વધારો કરવો, સ્થાનિક અર્થતંત્રને મજબૂત બનાવવું, નાણાકીય અને માર્કેટિંગ સેવાને વપરાશ કેવી રીતે પૂરો પાડવો તેવું હવે યુવા પેઢી તરીકે એક સેવા છે તેમને સાથ આપી રહી છે.
Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. SEVA's work specifically for the young generation under agriculture campaign is promoting sustainable farming methods, technology platform, financial linkages, market platform, ensuring food security. Next.
સેવા દ્વારા જે રૂઢિમંત ટ્રેનિંગ કંપનીની જે શરૂઆત કરી છે તેની અંદર યુવા ખેડૂતોનું એમ કે શું કામ કરી શકે તેના માટે શ્રીમંત ખેડૂતોને સીધું બજાર જોડાણ.
Rudy, one of the major reasons why our farmers remain hungry, derived by agricultural members and marginal farmers of SEVA, is not getting fair returns of their agricultural produces.
એટલે કે કૃષિ સદસ્યો અને જે સેવા છે તેના શ્રીમંત ખેડૂતો દ્વારા લીધેલા આપણા ખેડૂતોના જે ભૂખ્યા કેમ રહે છે તેનું એક મુખ્ય કારણ છે કૃષિ પેદાશો છે તેનો વ્યાજબી ભાવ મળતો નથી કે અથવા તો તેનું જે વળતર હોય છે તે મળતું નથી. સેવાએ રૂઢીની સ્થાપના કરી અને ગ્રામીણ વિતરણ નેટવર્કે એક કૃષિ વ્યવસાયે કંપની સંપૂર્ણ જે માલિકી અને નાના ખેડૂતો કે જે શ્રીમંત ખેડૂતો છે સંચાલિત પોતાની જે પદ્ધતિ છે તે વપરાશ સાથે કેવી રીતે તેનું જોડાણ કરવું તે કામ રૂઢી કંપની કરે છે.
SEBA established RUDI, a rural distribution network, an agri-business company fully owned and operated by small and marginal farmers, connecting farmers to end users hub and spoke model.
કંપની પાસે તેની ખરીદીની ચેનલો, પ્રક્રિયાઓ, કેન્દ્રો તેમજ તેના વિતરણ માટેનું નેટવર્ક પણ છે.
The company has its procurement channels, processing centers, packaging units, and a distribution network.
એટલે કે જે યુવા ખેડૂત છે તેના માટે રૂડી કંપની કેવી રીતે પ્લેટફોર્મ ઊભું કરી શકે તેના માટે આપણે જોઈએ તો
how this platform can be useful for the young generation. So Sakiben will tell us the points for this.
યુવા પેઢીનો જે ટેકનોલોજી પ્રત્યે વધુ લગાવ હોય છે તેઓ ગ્રામીણ વિસ્તારોમાં ઉછરેલા હોય છે. તેઓ આ વિસ્તારમાં પહેલેથી મૂળભૂત જે કુશળતાઓ ધરાવતા હોય છે તે પરંતુ આધારિત તેને ટેકનિકલી જે સ્માર્ટફોન હોય છે એગ્રીકલ્ચરમાં તેઓ સંપૂર્ણ જાગૃતતા ધરાવતા હોતા નથી. તો તેના માટે જે રૂડી કંપની છે તે શું કરી શકે તેના માટે કૃષિ ટકાઉ વ્યવહારુ અને જે લાભદાયક ફાયદા કયા છે તેના માટેનું કામ કરે છે.
The young generation has a strong affinity towards technology. As they are grown up in rural areas, they already have basic skills in these areas, but lack of exposure, awareness, and affordable access to modern technology based smart agriculture prevents them from making their agriculture sustainable, viable, and profitable.
જ્યારે આવા યુવા ખેડૂતો માટે સેવાએ એટલે કે રૂડી કંપની સેવા દ્વારા જે રૂડી કંપનીની શરૂઆત કરી તેના દ્વારા એક આખું પ્લેટફોર્મ ઊભું કર્યું કે જેની અંદર આવો યુવા ખેડૂત છે જે પોતાનો જે માલ છે તે સીધો પોતે કંપનીની અંદર વેચી શકે અને કંપનીની અંદરથી ખરીદી પણ શકે અને જે ગુણવત્તાવાળો જે પાક છે તેના તેમને સારા જે સ્થાનિક સ્તરે ભાવ પણ મળી રહે અને તે વેચી પણ શકે.
While understanding this condition of young farmers, SEBA is providing them an online platform for marketing, government linkages, etc., where they can access government schemes or buy or sell products, where they can buy or sell their high quality products at local levels directly.
અને અમે જે રૂડી સંદેશા વ્યવહાર છે એને એક એપ્લિકેશન છે તેની મદદથી અમે દૈનિક માર્કેટિંગનું જે અપડેટ છે તે એમના સુધી પહોંચાડી રહ્યા છીએ.
We are also providing daily market updates with the help of Rudy Sandesa Vyavhar application, RSP application.
અને આ એપ્લિકેશનની મદદથી અમે ખેડૂતોને બજારની જરૂરિયાતો છે તેની માંગ વિશે પણ જાણી શકીએ છીએ અને તેમની શું પ્રશ્નો છે એ પણ અમે જાણી શકીએ છીએ અને તે ખેડૂતોને પાકની જો પસંદગી શું છે તે પણ જાણી શકીએ છીએ અને તેમને સારા ભાવ કેવી રીતે મળી રહે તે પણ અમે આ એપ્લિકેશન દ્વારા એમને જાણકારી આપી શકીએ છીએ.
With the help of these applications, we also update farmers about market need and demand. Accordingly, farmers will choose their crops and get better prices.
અને જે પોતાનું પ્રોસેસિંગ એકમો છે તેના ઉત્પાદનોને લાંબા સમય સુધી તે સંગ્રહી શકે એને યોગ્ય બનાવવા માટેનું પણ અમે કામ કરીએ છીએ.
Processing units increases the shelf life of the products.
ને જે અમારા ખેડૂતો છે એમની પાસે જે ખરીદી રહેલા જે સ્થાનિક સભ્યો છે તેને પૌષ્ટિક જે ખોરાક છે તે વધુ પ્રમાણમાં મળી રહે છે.
Local members buying from our farmers will get more nutritious foods.
એટલે કે જે આ રોગચાળો હોય તેની પરિસ્થિતિમાં પણ સ્થાનિક ક્ષેત્રે અર્થતંત્રને મજબૂત બનાવવું કેવી રીતે તેનું એક અમારી જે રૂડી કંપની છે એના દ્વારા અમે એક ઉદાહરણ પાડી શકીએ છીએ.
This decentralized model has given a good example of strengthening the local economy in a situation of pandemics.
એટલે કે આપણે આજે આ બધું જે વસ્તુઓ છે તે પૌષ્ટિક વસ્તુઓ ખરીદી તો છીએ પણ તેને પૌષ્ટિક બનાવી કેવી રીતે તેના માટે અમે સેવા દ્વારા કમલે કાફે પણ શરૂ કર્યું છે જેની અંદર અમે પોષણક્ષમ તાલીમ કેન્દ્ર પણ શરૂ કર્યું છે કે જેની અંદર જે યુવા ખેડૂત છે તેને જેવો જોઈએ એવો પોષકક્ષમ આહાર મળી રહે.
After producing food crops by farmers, we have also started a Kamla, a cafe cum nutrition feeding center.
કમલાની અંદર અમે એવા ખોરાક આપી રહ્યા છીએ કે જે આખા અનાજમાંથી તૈયાર કરાયેલા પરંપરાગત ખાદ્ય પદાર્થો જેવા કે ખાસ કરીને બાજરી, જુવાર, રાગી એમાંથી કેવી વસ્તુ બનાવી શકાય અને જે પૌષ્ટિક હોય અને જે આજનો યુવા ખેડૂત છે જે પોતે પસંદ કરતો હોય એવો અમે ખોરાક અમારા કમલાની અંદરથી આપી શકીએ છીએ.
Kamla is serving traditional food varieties prepared from whole grains, especially locally cultivated millets, including jowar, ragi, bajri, etc.
આ જે રીતે બાજરી છે તો બાજરીમાંથી કેવી કેવી વસ્તુઓ બનાવી શકાય તો અમે બાજરીની અંદરથી જે પ્રક્રિયા કરી અને તેમની અંદરથી નાના બાળકો અને યુવા ખેડૂતો જે યુવા પેઢીના જે વ્યક્તિ છે તેને અમે બિસ્કેટ વગેરે એવો નાસ્તો બનાવી અને તેની અંદરથી આપીએ છીએ.
Trained 1,500 plus women from 5 districts who are now Kamla entrepreneurs and are promoting most in-demand products made from local varieties. So the young generation will also know about traditional high nutritious food varieties. Kamla provides food supply during lockdown and COVID.
Excuse me, please try to sum up.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's the end now. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, just right in time. Thank you so much, Saki Ben.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. I am not sure if we have that. Thank you so much, Saki Ben. That was a great opportunity for women to be really into marketing. So I'm not sure if we still have time. Can I ask Irish if we still have time to show the video of Rudy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you so much. So after the presentation of Saki Ben, we are going to show a video on what they are doing at Rudy. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. That was really inspiring. Rudy now is part of the daily life of many Indian households, no? Okay, so, okay, for our tiny quiz, no? There is an application at Rudy that provides updates on market. What is the abbreviation of that application? It sounds like a French confirmation for a reservation, except for the last letter, which is missing in the application. So please type that on the chat box, and let's see if you catch it earlier when Saki Ben shared it. And okay, now we are going now to our breakout session so that we can discuss some more. We have heard quite a lot about the game-changing solutions that many organizations are implementing in their own countries, in their organizations. Now it's time for us to discuss some more in our breakout sessions. So if you can just show the breakout groupings. So we have 4 groups for the discussion, for the focus group discussions. We have for Southeast Asia 1 composed of participants from Indonesia and Philippines. So those participants from Philippines and Indonesia kindly join Excel Fuentes to facilitate, who is facilitating the Southeast Asia 1 group. And those coming from the Mekong countries, plus the East and Central countries, those are Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Taiwan, and Tajikistan. Please join Southeast Asia 2 and East and Central Asia to be facilitated by Leo Mendoza. And for South Asia, please stay here in the main room. And these are the countries from South Asia. You will be facilitated by our Amir, our own, very own Amir Islam from Bangladesh. So those from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, please stay with Amir here. And for the Pacific participants from Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Vanuatu, and all the other countries that I may not have mentioned here, please join Ilea Drown Nidalo, who will facilitate your group. So, okay, we will be setting the time, and if you will see now on your screen the options for groups, or you are automatically, maybe you are automatically assigned to specific groups, especially if you renamed your Zoom name. So if it will be flashed on the screen, just click OK, so you will be directed to your groupings. And in case you are not yet assigned to a group, please click the correct grouping according to your country. So is it there?
Yes, it's now up, so they can click on the breakout rooms.
Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. Enjoy the Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Xin chào tất cả. Excuse me, I'm the interpreter for Vietnamese delegation. So because we have no function of translation here, so if you speak English, so please stop for a few seconds. So I need to translate for Vietnamese participant. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So there will be, thank you very much for the Vietnam interpretation. How many we are here? 30. This is the Mekong countries and
Đây là nhóm của các nước Mekong.
Yes, and we are here to further discuss about the game-changing solutions.
Chúng ta có mặt ở đây để thảo luận một cái chủ đề về cái giải pháp để thay đổi cuộc chơi, và chúng ta sẽ làm như thế nào.
Yeah, in a smaller group, so that everybody will have a chance to share their experiences in their individual countries.
Và như vậy là trong nhóm nhỏ này thì cơ hội sẽ được dành thêm cho đại biểu của chúng ta để chia sẻ xem là trong phạm vi ở quốc gia của mình thì chúng ta có cái mô hình gì, khả năng gì để chúng ta có thể giúp thay đổi cuộc chơi hiện nay để giúp tiếp cận thị trường cho các cái sản phẩm của các cái nông dân ở địa phương của chúng ta.
Yeah, thank you. And Carla, can you share the Google Drive? Yes, okay. We for this afternoon we will have 3 questions to answer and share our own experiences. Let's begin with the first one, which is aside from what has been presented, what are other initiatives, innovative solutions to the barriers and challenges specifically for agri-value chain development and in relation to increasing the farmers' market power? What are these innovations that you would recommend to the UNFSS? Mickey, maybe we can start the ball rolling. Somebody could please Mr. Interpreter for the Vietnamese.
Trong cái phiên làm việc này ấy, thì chúng ta sẽ cùng trả lời các cái câu hỏi. Câu hỏi đầu tiên là chúng ta cũng sẽ có là gì? Ngoài những gì đã trình bày thì đề nghị các đại biểu sẽ đề xuất những cái sáng kiến và những cái giải pháp sáng tạo nào khác liên quan tới các cái rào cản và thách thức liên quan tới cái vấn đề là phát triển chuỗi giá trị nông sản và gia tăng sức mạnh tiếp cận thị trường, và những khuyến nghị mà chúng ta có thể gửi tới hội nghị thượng đỉnh của Liên Hợp Quốc. Vâng, đó là câu hỏi đầu tiên, thì đề nghị là các đại biểu chúng ta, các anh chị ở Việt Nam, chúng ta có thể đóng góp ý kiến vào câu hỏi đầu tiên này.
Thank you. Anybody now would like to start the discussion?
Ai có thể phát biểu trước được không ạ? Vâng, xin mời đại biểu.
Việt Nam mình đâu?
Yes.
Xin mời ý kiến của anh chị nào đoàn Việt Nam ạ?
Việt Nam trước nhá. Việt Nam nổi nhá.
Vâng, chị Nhung phát biểu đi.
Chị nói bằng tiếng Việt nhá.
Vâng.
Vâng ạ. Okay. She speak Vietnamese, so I need time for interpretation. Okay.
Những cái bài trình bày rồi rất là thú vị. Nó cho thấy rằng là cái family farming ấy, hiện nay là những cái vấn đề mà hội nghị thượng đỉnh cần phải quan tâm nhiều hơn, sâu hơn nữa. Tôi lấy ví dụ là những cái hộ nông dân nhỏ ấy là những người rất dễ tổn thương và họ gặp rất nhiều khó khăn, nhưng họ không tiếp cận hỗ trợ, rất là kém, rất là yếu. Và bây giờ phải hội nghị thượng đỉnh ấy, đề nghị mọi người sẽ đưa vào hội nghị thượng đỉnh là phải hỗ trợ cho nông dân, những cái hộ nông dân đó kết nối họ lại với nhau như thế nào và giúp họ tiếp cận thị trường. Bởi vì là bản thân cá nhân người nông dân đấy không có khả năng tiếp cận thị trường khi mà sản xuất ở cái mức độ là rất là manh mún, và thực tế là họ cũng không có đủ những cái kỹ thuật để tiếp cận, những cái kỹ thuật, những cái công nghệ để tiếp cận thị trường. Thế cho nên là những cái mô hình vừa rồi trình bày thì nó rất là phù hợp, và tôi thấy rằng là hãy kết nối những cái hộ nông dân sản xuất nhỏ vào thành một mạng lưới, vào thành các tổ nhóm, vào thành các hợp tác xã, với đại khái là phải tổ chức họ lại và đào tạo họ, training cho họ, và để nâng cao cái nhận thức họ, để cung cấp thông tin những cái thị trường, những cái nông sản định hướng cho họ sản xuất đúng theo cái nhu cầu thị trường và kết nối họ thông qua các chuỗi. Đấy là ý kiến của tôi. Hết rồi ạ.
Yes.
Okay, so can I do some translation?
Yes, please translate.
Okay. Yeah. This is Miss Nhung from Vietnam, and I really appreciate the models and best practices presented in the plenary section, and the issues of family farming should be emphasized at a recommendation to be reported to the UN summit to be organized. As you may know, the small-scale farmers, they are vulnerable, and they face with a lot of difficulties in terms of the techniques of farming, so in terms of getting connected or to get access to the market. So the point is how to reorganize the farmers, and especially the vulnerable farmers, to join like cooperative or a group of the small-scale farmers to get connected, to be supported, to be trained, and to be equipped with the knowledge and skill in how to do better job in areas of family farming, so that they can have a better access to the market and get support in a kind of the collective action if we reorganize them in the association, society, or the cooperative. Yeah, what is thinking.
Ở Việt Nam chúng tôi ý, thì hiện nay là chúng tôi đang kết nối nông dân thông qua cái hệ thống gọi là hệ thống đảm bảo và sự tham gia, gọi là PGS, Participatory Warranty System. Yeah. và hiện nay thì 18 tỉnh ở Việt Nam đang áp dụng cái phương pháp này để kết nối nông dân và hỗ trợ. Thì đây là cái mà chúng tôi muốn chia sẻ cũng như là chúng tôi đang hướng tới.
So in Vietnam, what we are doing is we are applying PGS. It is a participatory guarantee system that the farmers could be well connected to be supported and to involved in the farming so that the output could be better organized, how to have a better access to the market.
Thôi bây giờ nhường cho người khác nói.
Thank you, and I would like to hand over the floor to other participants. Thank you. Vietnam.
Thank you. Incidentally, if some of you would like to write in this Google Drive file, please, Carla, can you share the link for this Google Drive for those who would like to share their experiences through typing?
Vâng, ngoài phần phát biểu bằng lời nói thì tôi sẽ chia sẻ trong cái phần chat box là cái đường link của cái Google Drive là cái form mà tôi đang đánh ở trên này, là bạn Thị đang đánh nhập các cái dữ liệu vào thì chúng ta có thể truy cập vào để chúng ta có thể bổ sung bằng cách là chúng ta viết trực tiếp vào cũng được vậy. Chúng tôi rất là hoan nghênh nếu đại biểu nào có thể là nhập vào để chúng ta sẽ cùng với chúng tôi để tổng hợp ý kiến.
Em có một cái giải pháp chia sẻ với mọi người được không ạ?
Could Ms. Ha from Vietnam contribute one more item, please? Vâng,
yes, please.
Yes, dạ vâng. Hiện tại thì em thấy rằng là cái việc mà phát triển sản xuất nông nghiệp của nông dân thì rất là nhỏ lẻ, đúng như chị Nhung nói, và có một cái phương pháp mà em nghĩ rằng là khá là đổi mới và chúng ta có thể đi theo, đấy là cân nhắc về việc là chúng ta hỗ trợ không phải là hỗ trợ nông dân mà chúng ta hỗ trợ cho cái nhà sản xuất cuối cùng ấy ạ, tức là người mà sản xuất ra cái sản phẩm mà đưa ra thế giới. Thì đấy là những cái công ty họ rất là lớn và họ có tiềm năng và họ có khả năng làm marketing rất lớn toàn cầu luôn. Thì thay vì là hỗ trợ ở đầu vào thì chúng ta hỗ trợ ở đầu ra, và khi hỗ trợ được họ làm cái vấn đề marketing và bán hàng trôi chảy và tốt, connect với cả thị trường thế giới, thì họ sẽ có khả năng mua toàn bộ những sản phẩm của những nông dân của chúng ta, và với số lượng, thứ nhất là số lượng lớn, thứ hai là cái chất lượng sản phẩm phải đồng đều, thứ ba là cái ổn định giá, mình đảm bảo được 3 vấn đề đấy thì họ sẽ mua để họ làm nguyên liệu, để họ sản xuất ra sản phẩm đưa ra thị trường và họ làm cái marketing rất tốt. Thế thì để làm sao để có số lượng lớn, làm sao để có chất lượng sản phẩm đồng đều và làm sao để ổn định giá, thì ở đây là câu chuyện là chúng ta sẽ từ những cái hộ gia đình nhỏ, chúng ta sẽ làm những cái chất lượng đồng đều ấy ạ, cùng thì nhiều hộ gia đình nhỏ sẽ thành một cái số lượng lớn để cung cấp cho công ty đó. Và thứ hai là cái chất lượng chúng ta cứ cam kết là ví dụ như không hóa chất, tôi không dùng thuốc bảo vệ thực vật chẳng hạn như thế, hoặc là chúng tôi làm organic, thì tất cả các gia đình đều tuân thủ những cái nguyên tắc về không hóa chất thì chúng ta sẽ ra được cái sản phẩm đồng đều để cung cấp cho công ty sản xuất. Và thứ ba là cái vấn đề giá thì hoàn toàn cái công ty mà họ sản xuất, họ mua cái sản phẩm của nông dân để làm nguyên liệu để sản xuất ấy, họ sẽ chốt một cái giá cố định cho nông dân hàng năm, và các hộ nông dân nào mà làm được với cái giá đó thì làm, mà không làm được thì thôi ra khỏi cuộc chơi luôn. Thì khi đấy là chúng ta sẽ có hết toàn bộ những cái vấn đề mà nhà sản xuất người ta yêu cầu, thì mình sẽ có cái vấn đề marketing là công ty lớn họ sẽ lo hộ. Và hết ạ.
Okay. So, Ms. Ha from Vietnam would like to recommend an idea that could be an innovative change to support the process of marketing to the farmer's product. So, instead of providing the support for the input for the farmer's participation, we could focus on supporting the producer who will be the enterprise, or could be the big one, to be sure for the output of the production. Maybe that the producer or the enterprise could get connected with the world market and market in different countries in the world. So with that, they could come back to the farmer, to order the farmer to focus on the production through the engagement from the small scale household into a larger scale, and the enterprise could have stabilize the price. That could be a kind of fixed price set in the whole years, and the enterprise could require the farmer to follow some criteria in the production. For example, in order to ensure the consistent quality for the agricultural products, the enterprise could require the farmer not to use fertilizer, or not to use pesticide, for example, or the enterprise could require the farmer to follow the organics farming standard, something like that. So if such requirement could be set and applied by the farmer for the input of the production, we can have a large scale stabilized price and the quality control for the agricultural production by the local farmer, and the output will be the responsible by the producer and the big enterprise. So that is one of the practice I'd like to propose to support and facilitate the producer to get involved in this process. Yeah, that is Ms. Ha's item.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Ha. And I think those are critical things in marketing, like the price, quality, and quantity, the volume of production. Anybody else would like to contribute to this, to answer this first question?
Xin rất là cảm ơn chị Hà đã chia sẻ ý kiến. Và như vậy là đây là một cái sáng kiến tôi nghĩ rất là hay, bởi vì sao? Chúng ta đảm bảo thứ nhất là chất lượng này, đảm bảo về giá này, ổn định giá này, rồi cái đầu ra sản phẩm, rồi cái số lượng sản phẩm ở cái quy mô ổn định và quy mô lớn cho nông dân. Tôi nghĩ đó là một cái hay mà chúng ta có. Và xin mời ý kiến khác.
Yes.
And Mongolian participants wrote the ideas in chat box. Please check it.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Tôi có ý kiến ạ.
Anh Việt Nam mình đợi các bạn của Mông Cổ và Lào là các bạn đang có ý kiến.
Yes. Okay. We have here a suggestion, contribution from Mongolia. They are recommending that the government can promote farmers by deducting less tax than commercial entities. Also, it should be concerned that farmers organizations such as cooperatives like providing them with financial support if they are member of the cooperative, etc.
Như vậy là chúng ta có ý kiến của đại biểu Mông Cổ là đề xuất là chính phủ sẽ phải hỗ trợ cho người dân, đặc biệt là nông dân thông qua là các cái chính sách thuế như là khấu trừ hay là giảm thuế, hay là các cái tổ chức của nông dân hay là các hợp tác xã của nông dân sẽ cần phải được tiếp cận những cái hỗ trợ về mặt tài chính thông qua cái chính sách tiếp cận tài chính, tiếp cận vốn cho các cái hộ nông dân ở quy mô nhỏ. Và thì đó là ý kiến của đại biểu Mông Cổ.
Yes. There's a raised hand. Yeah.
Tôi có ý kiến về.
So one participant from Vietnam would like to.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. There's a raised hand from Vietnam.
Mời ý kiến của Việt Nam ạ.
Vâng. Theo tôi thì các cái bài trình bày vừa rồi thì đã nêu được có rất là nhiều cái sáng kiến và tôi nghĩ là chia sẻ kinh nghiệm rất là tốt. Còn từ góc nhìn của tôi thì cũng là vừa là tham gia trong cái PGS, cũng là vừa là một doanh nghiệp nhỏ, thì tôi cho rằng là một trong những cái điểm mà chúng ta cần phải tập trung trong thời gian tới, đấy là thay vì chúng ta chỉ hỗ trợ tập trung vào phát triển các cái đầu vào, tức là tập trung hỗ trợ cho sản xuất, thì chúng ta hãy tập trung vào cái phần thị trường. Và đặc biệt thị trường ở đấy ấy, là các cái nhà kinh doanh nhỏ ở địa phương, bởi vì các nhà kinh doanh nhỏ địa phương này là đặc trưng của tiêu dùng hữu cơ. Tiêu dùng hữu cơ là
các nhà kinh doanh nhỏ ấy, là hầu hết là các nhà kinh doanh nhỏ và là ở tại địa phương, bởi vì nó phù hợp với cái nguyên tắc, cái giá trị của hữu cơ. Nhưng những cái nhà kinh doanh nhỏ này họ lại có cái yếu điểm, đấy là họ chủ yếu ở địa phương và họ quy mô nhỏ, cho nên cái năng lực tiếp cận công nghệ, năng lực tiếp cận thị trường của họ sẽ hạn chế hơn. Nhưng khi mà chúng ta hỗ trợ được những người này ấy, thì chúng ta sẽ làm được những cái việc mà như cô Hà nêu. Cho nên tôi cũng có một phần đồng ý với cái chỗ của chị Hà, đấy là để về thị trường thì về giá cả, hỗ trợ giá cả đâu ra. Nhưng thay vì là chúng ta tập trung vào nông dân và các nhóm hộ, thì chúng ta hãy chuyển cả cái hướng đầu tư vào cho các cái doanh nghiệp nhỏ ở địa phương này. Bởi vì các doanh nghiệp nhỏ ở địa phương này họ chính là người mà để giám sát chất lượng và xây dựng năng lực cho bà con nông dân, để bà con nông dân đáp ứng được cái số lượng cũng như chất lượng cho thị trường, và từ đấy có cái giá cả tốt. Chứ không phải là cái giá cả ổn định, mà tôi gọi là cái giá cả tốt. Giá cả thị trường nó phải thay đổi và nó phù hợp với thị hiếu.
Okay, so an idea from a Vietnamese participant. I really support a good initiative presented at the plenary section, and I do support the ideas by Ms. Ha from Vietnam with her views on PGS. So regarding the PGS application in Vietnam, instead of only focusing on support for production by the farmers, we need to have attention to the access to market issue, with focus on the small enterprises at the local areas. Because the local small enterprises, they could involve in monitoring the quality made by the local farmers regarding the organics products, and they could help stabilize the price, or I say good price, not a fixed price, good price or reasonable price for the farmers. However, we still see the weakness of the small scale enterprise in the local area, because they have the small scale business, they have limited capacity, and they lack of even access to the market. So if we can have not only focus on production of the farmer, we can focus on the production, the business operation by the small scale local enterprises like this. So we can help stabilize the whole process in marketing, in getting access to the market for the products, and quality control could be measured by those small scale local enterprises. That is the idea.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll just, before going to the second question, I would just like to quickly read some sharing in the chat box. One is from Cambodia. It's strengthen market value chains for smallholders by enabling them access to finance, technology, and agricultural techniques, including processing and packaging. There should be a focus, support on local market through small enterprises, and in strengthening the business to business, business to S must be suppliers and multi-stakeholders in the value chain. Okay, now maybe perhaps we can go to the next question.
Như vậy là anh chủ trì anh vừa mới chia sẻ tóm tắt lại thôi một số ý liên quan tới trao đổi vừa rồi, có các câu hỏi rồi câu hỏi 1 các đoàn của chúng ta đã trả lời liên quan tới vấn đề về hỗ trợ tài chính này, cắt giảm thuế này, các cái chính sách tài chính này, hay là hỗ trợ về mặt là sản xuất này, rồi cái mô hình như là mình vừa mới trao đổi với họ cũng liên quan tới việc đảm bảo chất lượng sản phẩm, hay là vấn đề về yếu tố tiếp cận thị trường. Thì là những ý kiến đó đã được tập hợp trong cái bản tóm tắt vừa rồi. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Can you scroll down, Carla, for the next question? The second question is, are there specific strategies or innovations that have successfully addressed the challenges or barriers of women and young farmers and fishers with respect to marketing?
Thì cái câu hỏi số 2 ấy, thì cũng liên quan đến tiếp cận thị trường. Thì đề nghị các đại biểu chúng ta cũng sẽ chia sẻ liên quan tới việc là có những cái chiến lược hay là những cái sáng kiến cụ thể nào mà giúp có thể là giải quyết thành công các cái thách thức và các cái rào cản đối với phụ nữ, những cái nông dân trẻ và kể cả những cái nông dân trong nghề cá. Thì trong cái việc tiếp cận thị trường thì chúng ta đưa ra được những cái giải pháp gì thành công để giúp giải quyết thách thức và rào cản. Câu hỏi số 2.
Okay. Thank you. Any contributor? Anybody wants to contribute their experience?
Không biết là có đại biểu nào đóng góp ý kiến cho cái câu hỏi số 2 này không ạ? Mời ý kiến. Anh chị ở Việt Nam có ý kiến gì không ạ?
Có ạ. Tôi có ý kiến được không ạ?
Okay, one idea from Vietnam.
Yeah. Yes. I'm Ivan from Vietnam Farmer Union. And I think we have some lessons from other countries very successful when they implement some policy to support for women in rural area. For example, in Korea, I know that the government of Korea, they have the policy to train the women in rural area on IT, to use the internet, to use a smartphone, how they can connect with each other. It's the first, how they can share the experience and technology in their production in farming. This is the first very good. They can save the time, they can share by internet, by smartphone, like the internet club of farmer group. This is the first. And the second thing, they can access the market from their farm. And the young women and young people, they are very interesting in learning IT and computer using for their work, for their information, and get access information from computer. They learn and they can share their idea. I think a very good way if our ASEAN government can have the specific program to train, to educate the women in rural area, young farmer in rural area. They can access the internet and they can work on that, not only in the production, even in the marketing, even they can access the other actor in value chain. I think it's a very important now because in Vietnam, as you know, when we train some farmer, even they are very old people, but they are very interested and they can overcome the barrier of their situations. And I think it's the one thing. And the second thing, I think we have some policy very good in the paper, but how we can implement this policy in grassroots level is the issue. This is why in the forest and farm facility we implement in 4 provinces in the north of Vietnam. We organize round table discussion from the commune up to district, up to province, and we determine the problem. What's the cooperative and what the farmer organization there are fixing, and they raise this issue with the stakeholder, with our authority and government officer. And based on that, we discuss how we can solve problem in the specific area and specific situation. And I think it's very good way we can apply if we can share the experience in other with other country. Yes, thank you very much. Because now I work for the forest and farm facility supported by FAO in Vietnam for Vietnam Farmer Union. This is why I think very good way we can implement and advocate the policy based on the roundtable discussion from the grassroots level up to district, up to national, and I think regional level. That this is the thing I think we can support the women and young people to involve in agriculture and forestry. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Xin được
nhờ mọi người.
Dạ vâng. Như vậy là chị Iwan cũng đã vừa chia sẻ một cái kinh nghiệm rất là thực tiễn. Một cái trong những cái kinh nghiệm ở đây đó là gì? Đào tạo cho nông dân để sử dụng internet. Thế thì kinh nghiệm của Trung Quốc ấy, là người ta cũng đào tạo cho nông dân trong việc là sử dụng smartphone, điện thoại thông minh, rồi kết nối internet, rồi từ cái việc đó thì giúp họ có thể tiết kiệm thời gian, rồi chia sẻ những cái kinh nghiệm, những cái cách thức để tiếp cận thị trường. Thế nên là sẽ rất là hữu ích nếu như mà chúng ta có thể đề xuất cho các chính phủ các nước ASEAN trong việc là xây dựng những cái ứng dụng cách thức để làm thế nào giúp cho phụ nữ nông dân để có thể kết nối được internet, không chỉ là hỗ trợ cho họ là các cái kinh nghiệm trong việc phát triển sản xuất, mà quan trọng nữa là cách thức trong việc là tiếp cận thị trường. Một cái thực tế nữa là gì? Chúng ta có các chính sách tốt, nhưng vấn đề là triển khai các chính sách đó như thế nào. Thì theo kinh nghiệm của tôi là chuyên gia cho FAO, cho Hội Nông dân của Việt Nam, thì chúng tôi cũng đã đi tư vấn cho 4 tỉnh thành phố ở Việt Nam. Chúng tôi cũng thông qua cái hình thức tham vấn, thảo luận bàn tròn, tức là chúng tôi ngồi với nông dân, ngồi với cả các hợp tác xã, thì chúng tôi bàn rất là cụ thể với họ để xem là các cái vấn đề của họ là gì, các cái yếu kém của họ là gì, năng lực của họ là gì ra sao. Thì qua đó để chúng tôi có thể tập trung ở trong việc là hỗ trợ đưa ra những cái giải pháp tiếp cận như thế nào với các cái cách thức cụ thể ra sao, và hoạt động hỗ trợ từ đó để có thể xác định những yếu kém, những cái khó khăn của họ để giúp cho những cái sản phẩm, rồi tăng cường các hoạt động giám sát, nâng cao cái chất lượng để quản trị tốt. Đó thì là một số những cái ý kiến chia sẻ của các đại biểu của Việt Nam. Xin mời các ý kiến khác.
May I contribute?
Tôi có thể đóng góp thêm không ạ? So please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mekong Organics from Australia. I'm working with most Vietnamese. I'm Vietnamese from Mekong Delta, and we approach work to support small farmers in the Mekong Delta to transfer from a conventional agriculture to organics farming, especially in rice and in Central Highland for coffee and pepper. We found that this session I heard a story from the Philippines that a farmer adopt farmer can produce value-added products like process and one response about 2,000 farmers can do that. That's very good lesson for Vietnamese farmer in the Mekong Delta, small scale farmer in the Mekong Delta. They are rarely adopt processing or value-added production processing. And for example, we put thousands of farmers, but few farmers are confident to learn. And now that's why we build the program to train for farmer. We recognize that farmer never learn about processing, how to set up the small scale processing and doing, process the value added product. And now we try to set up the training program to support them. I think that's the best way to give them a door, open the door, give them the solution to improve the products for the organic food. Because if a farmer produce organic food, they sell the raw material, they earn less. If they can produce, process quality and end products, and they can improve the value of the product. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So, can I have a translation? Một ý kiến của một đại biểu từ tổ chức là hữu cơ Mekong của Australia. Thì đại biểu cũng cho ý kiến là với một cái mô hình mà họ đã làm ở Philippines, thì là cái mục tiêu là làm thế nào để có thể để nâng cao cái giá trị của cái sản phẩm, đặc biệt là khi mà sản xuất theo cái hướng hữu cơ. Thì quan trọng là chúng ta cần phải đào tạo cho nông dân, đào tạo và có một cái chương trình rất là cụ thể. Thì tôi nghĩ rằng đây cũng có thể là bài học trong Việt Nam trong việc là chúng ta phải có những cái chương trình đào tạo, như là cụ thể là phải xây dựng một cái chương trình đào tạo giúp cho nông dân có thể hiểu được cả một cái quy trình cần phải được thiết lập như thế nào, rồi cần phải tăng cường những cái giá trị gia tăng như thế nào cho những cái sản phẩm thông qua cái giải pháp phù hợp để cải thiện cái sản phẩm đó. Thì nếu mà họ sản xuất theo cái cách hữu cơ thì họ có thể đảm bảo được cái chất lượng và nâng cao được cái giá trị cho sản phẩm đó. Và thì đó là ý kiến của một đại biểu liên quan tới nội dung là tăng cường đào tạo để nâng cao kỹ năng cho nông dân tham gia vào cái quy trình sản xuất nông nghiệp hữu cơ. Okay, so please.
Okay. Yeah, it's done. So there's another there's a raised hand. I don't know the name iPhone.
Và có một đại biểu được đặt tên là iPhone, không biết là của ai và không biết tên nước nào. Đại biểu nào đề nghị là nếu mà Việt Nam chúng ta đổi lại thì đại biểu giơ tay phát biểu là để iPhone, không biết là ai.
iPhone, yeah.
Mời đại biểu iPhone đi.
Do you want to share?
Xin mời đại biểu iPhone chia sẻ nhé.
Từ Việt Nam mà em, từ ở quê.
Thấy trên màn hình hiện có chữ iPhone, không biết là của đoàn Việt Nam hay là của ai. Có ý kiến này.
Yeah. Vừa xong em có ý kiến từ cái ý kiến một cơ ạ. Từ cái, anh nói đi, anh nói đi. Em là Phạm Văn Tiến ạ.
Vâng.
Em bạn này là giám đốc hợp tác xã ở chương trình hỗ trợ rừng trang trại đấy ạ.
Vâng, thì lúc ban đầu thì em có ý kiến về cái giải pháp đối với lại chỗ câu hỏi 1. Đó là việc có nghĩa là chỗ chị Nhung với lại chỗ chị Hạo đã có ý kiến rồi ạ.
Dạ. Vâng. Là anh không nói nữa đúng không? Là ý kiến đã được đề cập. Okay, so the participant named iPhone is from Vietnam. He had intention previously talking for question 1, and Miss Nhung already raised that issue, and he had the same idea. So no more questions.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. How about Van Tran? There's another raised hand.
Có một cánh tay nữa giơ lên, đại biểu Việt
Maybe
Nam.
This is the
là
last two. Last two ideas before we shift to the last question.
Ý kiến có ý kiến nào của đoàn Việt Nam không ạ?
For the third question, I can contribute.
Sorry.
For the third question, I can.
Yeah. Before going to the third question, I'd like to just read some other sharings here in the chat box. One is focused for this second question, focus to education for young generation of farmers, help them as to be entrepreneur minded or mindset, to have entrepreneur mindset, not only focus on production but also on a mindset and skills like marketing, logistics, based on situations right now in Vietnam. Because in Vietnam, most farmers are old in their age, and the connection and closing the gaps and the connection between the elders' experience with young farmers has to thrive. The spirit of it has to thrive with their small land in their hometown. Another sharing is the government institutions can provide useful and helpful learning materials in marketing technology, branding, entrepreneurial skills to young farmers and women to empower them to start their own business easier and smoother. Okay. Now, there's last here is introduce market to women and young farmers could practice their agribusiness and could earn income, and young smart farmers approach. Now, let's go now to the third question. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, can I have some summary? Như vậy là ông chủ tọa cũng vừa mới tổng hợp lại một số những cái ý trong câu hỏi số 2. Như vậy có một số cái ý mà chúng ta cũng vừa mới trao đổi thảo luận, đó là việc cần phải tăng cường đào tạo, đặc biệt là cho lực lượng nông dân trẻ, những người mà tham gia rất là tích cực và cần phải thay đổi cái tư duy của họ. Tức là không chỉ cái quá trình sản xuất thì chúng ta đề cập là cần phải hướng tới cả cái cách tiếp cận thị trường như thế nào, sử dụng công nghệ ra sao, rồi hướng tới thúc đẩy cái doanh nghiệp trẻ, cho người nông dân, rồi việc học tập, nâng cao trình độ, rồi tiếp cận công nghệ, rồi việc phải có những cái hướng dẫn cụ thể các chính sách của chính phủ, hay là tăng cường hỗ trợ marketing, rồi nâng cao thương hiệu, và đặc biệt là đối với những phụ nữ tham gia. Thì đó là một số những cái chính của cái câu hỏi số 2. So okay, so move to the next question, please. Question 3.
Yeah, okay. Can we go to the next question?
Chúng ta sẽ chuyển sang câu số 3.
The question can I contribute?
Yeah. Who's this, please?
Mekong Organics.
Mekong Organics, yes. Okay.
Yes.
For the third question, I mean, can I read the third question first before? For the third question, please enumerate ways for scaling out and scaling up farmer solutions to reach more farmers and fishers and their organizations or cooperatives. Examples of these are policy intervention, program development, investment.
Recording in progress.
Kind of, give the benefit for the for producer, who are the smallholder producer, not competing with the
Okay.
The big price. So
okay, we are so sorry. I know that we are in the middle of discussion still, but most are already in question number 3. It's really inspiring that everybody is really into it and everybody is actively participating and contributing their thoughts, their minds, their opinions and experiences on the game-changing solutions. But sorry, we had to stop now and listen to the reports of each group. Are we now ready? In what order are we going through the reporting? Who would go first? Which group would like to go first in reporting? Okay, shall we go? Yes?
I'm so sorry, Barney, because of my internet is not good. So I'm just changing the mode now from Wi-Fi to the data. So can you please request another group? I will be the next.
Okay. How about the group of the Philippines and Indonesia? Is that group ready? Are they here now? Excel, is your group ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So first, there's the sharing from Weng. One of the game-changing solutions for organic agriculture is to have a certain kind of guarantee system that's suitable for small-scale producers. The inclusion of a participatory guarantee system is important to small-scale farmers. This is one of the recommendations to the UNFSS to support PGS, especially the countries where most farmers are the small-scale farmers. Then in Indonesia, they shared that PGS, then they agreed, PGS will strengthen farmer-consumer relationship, cutting off long market value chains, give incentives and support to farmers via agricultural banks. And then one of the sharing was also highlighted about education on organic products that are safe and healthy. So yeah, there's an education campaign. Then for the second question about, can we ask to scroll up? Yeah. For the second question on the specific strategies, there's this suggestion or idea to have a farmer-consumer meetings. In that meeting, farmers share what they are going to plant and its price for the consumers. Also, with this, no, the strengthening of the partnership between farmers and consumers, education to provide safe, healthy, and nutritious food. Then also from the Philippines, there's a sharing, no, of practice like promotion or utilizing social media platforms to link farmers directly to consumers. Partner with institutions to highlight these products, creation of alternative markets. Then, well, just for the discussion's sake, no, there's a question was raised, no, during our breakout group, like this gender aspect, no, which males and females role in marketing. Okay, yeah. For the next question on the third, yeah, ways to scale up, no. Based on our group, there's a need to provide necessary support to women and young people, processing facilities, post-harvest facilities for both organic and non-organic products. No, because yeah, here still many farmers are practicing conventional, but and as well they lack, no, basic facilities. So there's a need for substantial support. No. Then on the discussion earlier, there's a sharing about identified problems, no, the farmers' lack of access to resources. So it must be included, no, to address the main issues like landlessness and other gaps. Then support policies, synergizing a startup capital. We are pushing the Magna Carta, no, in the context of Philippines, no. A youth group shared that they are pushing for the Magna Carta of young farmers in the Philippines, which encourage more youth to help them to see the incentives in agriculture. Then also Weng, as from the Philippines, shared the context about the problem with resources such as land, no, and the complex political situation here. So there's a need, no, for the UNFSS to see the to review the policies, no, to push for equitable access of farmers to resources such as land. Okay. Then yeah, on the third part, we really had a rich discussion, no. Then also Dennis, no, from the UK, which is also a Filipino, shared about the concept of organic, no, that is very expensive. So yeah, but people really are accepting now that the future is really in the organic, no. Then there's a need to educate young farmers to advocate for food security. So from Indonesia also, there's a suggestion that we want to about cooperation, no, among farmers. Then there's a need to see the starking contrast between permaculture and food estates, no, like the big agribusiness plantations, no. Then as a farmer, we must break to the capitalist point of view, and it must be centered. Now, there's a need for a more farmer-centered policies, no, for the food system. Then from Indonesia, they also shared that there's lands are underutilized, no, and owned by the city people. So yeah, access to land was also really important. Then yeah, there's a need to relocalize and deglobalize markets in order and production to address fundamental problems of farmers, yeah, in the livelihood. Also, there are policies enacted safeguarding and upholding farmers' civil political rights in their assertion to the government to address the gaps and issues concerning. Agriculture programs should primarily benefit our farmers. Partnerships and government programs should be centered and based primarily on farmers' rights and aspirations, not on incentives from agrochemical corporations. Most of the politicians in the Philippines push for rice tariffication and land grabbing, which have really affected small farmers. The government is imposing rice from other countries. The problem is on how local farmers can market their products when selling rice or palay is low. So yeah, there's a need to deglobalize and relocalize our food system. That's all for our group. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go directly to the next group. I think Amir's group is now ready.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Carry on.
Thank you again, dear Barney. So now for the South Asia group. Okay, right now is I can see. Thank you for my group. Know that there so far I count that time 68 numbers of participants were there, and we had a very good discussion. But the internet, sometimes it is disturbing us because of some of the participants try to speak, but we cannot hear properly. So the first question, aside from what has been presented, what are the other initiatives or innovative solution, what they experience in their own organization regarding the barriers and challenging of the agri-food chain, and some of the innovative idea already, that we got from Shamol, India. He mentioned that the storage facility, because of this is very important things for the farmers for getting the good price because of the product harvesting season. The product price is lower, so that storage system facility can give the farmers good price. So also the paste and the storage facility reduce the paste, and also for external poor farmer cannot be accessed in India. There's some of the observation from I need to simplify soil testing facilities, particularly the organic certification. Organic certification, Mr. Shamal mentioned that the PGS he heard from this session. So far, the yesterday Vietnam session, the PGS system. He mentioned that this is this one kind of the good, the initiatives for the smallholder farmers, and he also mentioned the need to simplify the soil testing facilities so that farmer can say that this is a chemical free, and this almost very important for the pricing also the product. Sharat Singh from India also, he said that the one of the barriers to no mechanization, to transport the product, so that the mechanization can be the one solution for the for improving the market power for the farmers organization and particularly the smallholder farmers. For also he mentioned the transport of the products, knowledge systems can be shared to reach only the small group through the social media. And also he mentioned minor millets. That can be the one of the solution for the smallholder farmers, and he mentioned that the millets is alternatives food, for and it's the less input cost for the production, and smallholder farmers can produce more and marketing more. And Boshura Tabudu, he also mentioned that the smallholder farmer technology. And from Kajol from Nepal, she said that the agreement with the private market sector to increase the market power, increasing negotiation power of the farmers is very important an area. She mentioned that thing here, and she also mentioned that their organization and SCCFL is trying to introduce this kind of activities with their members. And one of the chat box so far, there is a combination of, Josie, can you go up? Can you go up? Can you go up? Yes. The combination of traditional and modern marketing. There is some of the chat box we already take this kind of things. The second question and third question, we are the particularly the specific strategies or innovation that have successfully addressed the challenges or barrier of women and youth farmers. From Bangladesh, Imanul Nobi, he is handling the MMI Missing Middle Initiative program in Bangladesh, and he mentioned that for the women and youth, we have so many barriers for capturing the market power, but the policy level that can help to give them the empowering to the youth and women. And he also mentioned that they have a good of the policy level issue, good policy on the but the implementation is not so good. So is need to ensure that the implementation of the policies, whatever is already had in the country, particularly in the Bangladesh. And also he mentioned very good point for the third issues like the policy, how can we, the scaling up the farmer solution to reach more farmer and fisheries for the organizational cooperatives. He mentioned that the policy, whenever the policy and program from the government side they introduce, so that they can involve the farmers organization and also the farmers to incorporate all of the thinking process, all of the the innovative idea from the farmers, so that farmer can involve for the program development, program or policy development, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation systems. And for the third question, whatever we already touched, the some of the policy level issue already in here. So Mr. Shamul said that the marketing is a great challenge to both farmers and fisheries. And traditional market is the rural area. Small scale producers are forced to sell product at the price intermediary level. So he also suggested that they create a sustainable separate market platform for the poor in the local sub-market vicinity, where they can immediately sell their product, no control over the market price, and practice can be existed. And also this is the good things. He also mentioned that the for the consumer, poor consumer who are the looking for the low price of food, they can also come to this market, the special market, and gradually this market can be very popular in the big chunk of community people. And also here is some of the chat now, the from Sheva Sakibin also, because of he cannot speak up. She mentioned that the implemented Sheva has implemented an environmental friendly initiative through the practical approach of pooling of agricultural equipment. Yes, this is a very good the initiative she have already taken, that all of the agriculture tools and equipments library. They said that the agriculture tools and equipment library. Then this library is centrally located and run by the village level farmer development group. Library is equipped with the modern agricultural tools and equipment as per the member needs. Member can borrow these tools by paying a normal service charge to the library, which is much lower than the rent they pay to the big farmer. Very good initiatives. And this is, we can follow this kind of initiatives so that our smallholder farmer can, get the big benefit from that. And also one of the chat I have seen right now, the Loko Kendra Parishad India has developed the community-owned and community-managed common facility center, where gender-friendly tertiary using tools and kept. Their tools are used by the farmer by paying a small amount of hiring charge. So the same, the issues, same things, whatever practices in Seva and also the local Kendra Parishad, and maintenance and deployment of those machineries. This was the group 2, the South Asia group discussion. Bernie, thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Nearby, and thank you for your participation. Let us go straight to the next country, to the next sub-grouping. Let's hear from the Mekong countries and Eastern Central Asia. Leo, are you there?
Yes, yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Bernie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie,
Leo.
for our group, the Mekong countries and East and Central Asia. We had last look, we had 33 participants here in our group. For the discussions, for the first question, there is a suggestion that support holder farmers to access special markets like niche market that offer high prices. Samples are for coffee, organic vegetables. But this, it was said, needs excellent quality. And for the UNFSS, we need more markets like this, high value markets, to be accessible to more to smallholder farmers. Please scroll down. Irish. Okay. Thank you. Another suggestion is to reorganize the farmers, especially the vulnerable farmers, into a cooperative to be supported, trained on how to do a better job so that they can get better access to markets. In Vietnam, they are applying the PGS, but the farmers, so that the farmers can get supported, so they can be organized and have better access to the market. Scroll down, please. Iris, can you scroll down, please? Thank you. Again, in Vietnam, recommendation is to have innovative change to support process getting the product, focusing on supporting enterprise or producers to ensure production. Sufficient production. Enterprise can interact with farmers and market to help stabilize the prices. Enterprises can encourage farmers to follow policies like using organic farming. We can have large scale, there is a need for stabilized prices and quality for the farmers. From Laos, from Lao, Noi, shared increased power of cooperative in terms of negotiation skill and easy access to market information, such as that is the needs of the market, such as what the market needs. High quality product, organic and equitable between smallholder farmers and big companies, such as the opportunity for access to funds, especially to young farmers to start their agribusiness endeavor. From Mongolia, government can promote farmers by deducting, collecting less tax. And FOs and co-ops can be provided financial support if they are a member of cooperatives. From Vietnam, there is a need, the PGS application in Vietnam, instead of focusing on only production, there is a need to have to focus attention to access to to the market, which also focuses on small enterprises in local areas, because it's involved monitoring the quality of organic products to stabilize good and reasonable prices. Weakness may be limited capacity of small farmers' access to market, and focus on business operation of small enterprises and local enterprises, quality again, and price. In Cambodia, there is a suggestion to strengthen market value chains, strengthen business-to-business, suppliers and stakeholders in the value chain by enabling them to access finance, technology, including processing and packaging. Vietnam, again, focuses on local and small enterprises. Companies should focus on long-term branding. This is another major concern, major initiative maybe for marketing. For the second question, implement policies to support women in rural areas. There was an example that Korea has this policy to train women on IT. for them to be able to share information on technology and market information. ASEAN government can have a specific program to educate farmers in rural areas, not only in production, but also in marketing. In Vietnam, farmers are trained, and there was this a sharing of experience in Vietnam in terms of training, is that they are very interested and they were able to overcome, can you scroll down please, Irish? Yeah. To overcome barriers. So we have policies in good, they have several policies there that have been implemented at the national level. They are discussion. Okay. Work from, there is also the national government support to women in agriculture. Mekong Organics Australia also mentioned approach to local small farmers, from transferring them from conventional farming to organic. They were very encouraged by the story in the Philippines that farmers can have value addition in their products. They suggest to build programs to train farmers so they can learn about processing and add value to their products. Also focus on education for the young generation of farmers that is in Vietnam, so that they will be replacing the farmers in Vietnam who are now getting old, he said, so that it is a connection between the two generations of farmers. Government institutions can provide materials on branding and soft skills to farmers and women to empower them to start their own business, agricultural business. Okay. In Mongolia, government may help the young and the women to farmers to access to markets. In Laos, there is a need for a platform of buyers that want to establish partnership with organizations, smallholders, and for special products. In Mongolia, there's a suggestion to enhance a partnership between FOs and the government, especially the young women farmers, including committees organized by government in order to have their voices heard. Building community connections between local and local enterprise, private enterprises and the local farmer. Mekong, okay, and then next is, okay, so
okay.
There were lots of lots of sharing.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And now, let's not delay it further. Let's go straight to Pacific. So I wonder who is going to report for Pacific. Is it going to be Ilea? Okay, Ilea, you're on. Okay, there you go. Ilea, you're on now. Okay. For the presentation of the Pacific outputs, let us all welcome Miss Ilea Draunidalo.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear
sorry,
you.
Yes, my name is Aradna Dish, and I will be presenting
okay.
on behalf of the Pacific Group. So
Thank you.
Going straight into question 1, where we have to list on the other initiatives or innovative solutions or barriers and game changing that we would recommend to the United Nations Food System Summit. So our team, the Pacific team that were comprising of around 10 members at the time of discussion, we have come up with some of the points as follows. Number one, creating digital access to farmers to give them some sort of empowerment so that they are able through online platforms so that they can continue selling their produce to the market. A very good example was discussed where farm apps have been developed in Samoa and has been very successful where farmers are able to feed in information on the app on what particular produce they have, and then this information reaches out to many audience who are then able to buy from from information provided on the app. Moving on, financing the value chain initiative spread financial packaging across openings. So this is something that the group really touched on in terms of financial support towards the farmers in order for them to continue with the good work and progress next level. Next thing we touched was bringing services to the um, uh, to the farmers, and this we understand access to market. So this is where the common meeting place where farmers bring their produce. So some sort of services can be provided in terms of agricultural or pesto disease or other information that will be vital for the farmers to take back with them when they return to their respective communities and continue farming. So not only they come to the common marketplace to sell their produce, but they they also gain some knowledge to take with them in order to upgrade their farming to next level. And moving on, initiatives for youth farmers and tertiary students through exchange programs on different farming techniques that they can adopt. There are good examples that we have institutes running in most Pacific countries, especially in Fiji, where youths are they go through formal qualification and training programs, and then there is government initiative there in order to support them to establish their farming. So these are the things, some of the kind of initiative or game-changing solutions are vital to further assist target groups, especially women and youths, to progress. Moving on to second question on the specific strategies or innovations that are successfully addressed and challenges or barriers of women and young farmers or fishers. So through discussion, we came up with some of the answers such as assisting rural women fishers to access to market despite challenges of transport. So some sort of assistance so that they are able to get their produce where it can be sold. Innovations in the use of public transport, like a good example, or develop the improvement in the existing infrastructure that is there. A good example is how the women are able to use the existing resources available in order to bring the produce to the market. So rather than providing specific set of resources, the existing resources can be, how it can be supported in order to make it more meaningful uh, uh, for transportation and assist farmers at the same time. Moving on, seed saving techniques across Pacific farmer to farmer exchange and seed saving techniques, not to depend on hybrids and open pollinated. We at this point we were also discussing on need of having germplasm at research stations or other organizations where the preferred varieties or preferred crops can be produced and it can be made available to interested farmers or stakeholders on subsidized price or affordable price that they can use in order they can access and then able to use for increasing their production. So some sort of assistance coming through the research organizations or the other NGOs or agencies that are present in respective countries. And also moving on, the traditional varieties should not be forgotten. They should be given importance for growing, and because it comes along with the various benefits and importance. So putting support or additional focus in this area to upgrade or give importance to the traditional crops. So also something I would like to add at this point is that in terms of value chain, like the research divisions, they provide value adding trainings to the women's group or farm or the youths, and this is something successful happening in PG, whereby we have the product development units who are able to help farmers in order to add value to their crops, so that it can be processed to something else that can have shelf life, increased shelf life, and can be used rather than the perishable items get become of no use. So value adding and assisting them through technologies is something that is vital. So we'll go on to question on the part 3 of the discussion. Sorry, if the slide, can we just move a little bit up for the part 3? Yes, ways of scaling out or scaling up farmer solution to reach more farmers and fishers in their organization cooperatives. So this is where strengthening access to finance for our actors along the value chain, recommend farmer to farmer exchange with the Nepalese game exchange initiative shown in tonight's program. And again, we'll elaborate on the digital solution that I earlier mentioned in question 1. Then research to partner with existing farmers and organizations, so that research of the reach of farmers to achieve for the research initiative. Example, the plant health clinic that I was saying, where the services reach out to farmers at common meeting places. Encourage organizing of farmers into clusters, association that eventually can group work in clusters, and then the government can assist these clusters with resources, with finance, so that within their clusters they are able to support each other, and they can improve their farming or their access to market. So these are some of the areas. And then continue with the breadfruit seed production projects that was already very successful in the Pacific with the other partners, and strengthen these initiatives so that the germplasms can be readily available, and then farmers can have access to the preferred variety, and then they can continue with their production. So from the Pacific group, these are some of the things that we managed to quickly come up given the time frame. If I may have missed on anything, I'm sure our note taker and our moderator will be able to add further into this and send it to the secretariat. So thank you so much for the
Thank you so much,
opportunity.
Aradhana. Yeah, thank you to all the groups who shared the takeaways and the recommendations for the game-changing solutions. I bet this is kind of challenging to be summarizing the key takeaways and the recommendations from all groups. But let me ask now our Business Development Officer, Ms. Junie Pandela, if she is now ready for the sharing on the summary of key takeaways and recommendations. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Junie, take it away.
Recording stopped.
So thank you, Miss Bernie.
Recording in progress.
Okay, thank you, Miss Bernie. So I am Junie Pandela. Good afternoon and good evening for some. I am Junie Pandela, Business Development Officer of Asian Farmers Association, and I will be presenting the summary of key takeaways and recommendations that were discussed during our entire session for value chain development to increase market access. So for the first key takeaways, 80% of family farmers are located in Asia, wherein 19% produce global food, hence are top exporters of food, but they are regarded as mere producers. So one of the reasons here is because we have middlemen and large corporations that serve as our intermediaries to from farmers to end consumers. Then second is globally, 80% are considered as the extreme poor, and 75% of it are living in rural areas where mostly work in agriculture. Then for the third, organic farming cannot be easily accessed in some countries, and expensive organic production inputs. Then for the fourth one, soil as one of the most important thing to consider in sustainable agriculture, while branding, quality, and knowledge can be effective tools for market access. Then for number five, for production and market efficiencies, identify the role of men, women, and youth. So we need to assess the strengths and both the weakness of these men, women, and youth in order for us to effectively market and implement our enterprises. Then for the six, education and access to information to conduct value addition to the products and access more market. And last, for key takeaways, if farmers are directly linked to end consumers, we can attain price stabilization because we will eliminate the intermediaries and middlemen. And for the challenges and opportunities that were identified during the breakout session, first is large corporations or companies again act as the middlemen intermediaries between farmers to consumers. Then security in land use, and farmers are also experiencing low farm gate price but high production cost. Then third is in terms of production, availability or access in technology, information, and knowledge. Then it includes also climate change or adaptation to climate change, market requirements or yung market demands, and increase shelf life of highly perishable produce. Then on the fourth, in terms of value addition and market access, challenges are quality, transparency, this includes knowledge, information, then processing technologies and equipment that is suitable to produce more quality products. Then of course, infrastructures such as trading posts or processing centers and logistics. So this one also covers marketing, market access. So next is requirements and process of licenses and permits. So this include organic certification, then rules and regulations imposed by the government, and yeah, access to organic agriculture. As for the recommendations and strategies identified during the breakout session, first is the formulation of cooperatives as it play a major role in terms of value addition, development of agri-enterprises, and access to support and financing from different institutions. Then we also need to empower cooperatives to have a successful negotiation with the markets. Then second is establishment of rural distribution network or trading centers that is managed by the farmers. And of course, provision on storage facility system or SSF to reduce pest enables, this enables bulk orders or wholesale. Then third, involvement of youth in agri activities such as advanced methodologies in farming, technologies used in processing, and of course, online marketing platform. Then also we need to have our youth to be aware on the benefits of farming and agriculture. Fourth is to give more empowerment to farmers to utilize online platforms or e-commerce. Then we also need to create a platform where farmers and end users or end buyers meet so that farmers can dictate the price. Then fifth is implementation of organic agriculture that is suitable for small-scale farmers. And we also need to prioritize healthy and organic produce and standardization of organic farming policy in every country or globally. So six is cutting off long market value chains or processes. So we also need to strengthen farmers to negotiate directly to end consumers, large-scale companies. So we need to reduce or eliminate again the intermediaries. Next is incentives and support to farmers can be done by the agricultural bank. So this is one of the ways to value our farmers. So next is market positioning. So under these top markets that offer higher price regardless of the minimum bulk volume, but must ensure the quality of the product. So establishment of partnerships with other organizations, institutions to highlight farmers' products. Then number 10 is land security for the farmers and reducing tax to agricultural products and production inputs. Then aside from focusing on the production, farmers and cooperative must also focus on the market requirements and needs so that it can be sustainable and they can establish a good relationship and good pricing. So next is consider a long-term branding and plan, of course, and assessing different type of seeds for resiliency, as mentioned by Pacific earlier, and farmer-to-farmer exchange seeds, so not to depend in hybrid seeds. And last is, of course, as part of the digitalization and online marketing, online platform, so we also suggest to establish or create a plant health clinic or a platform that will discover or diagnose pest issues so that farmers can be more proactive and can reduce their challenges and issues. So that would be all for the summary of key takeaways and recommendations. So thank you. Back to you, Ms. Bernie.
Thank you so much, Junie. That was really comprehensive and impressive. So now, without further ado, let us call on our response to these key takeaways and recommendations. We will have two, and the first one, we would like to call on our partner and very supportive partner in Bangladesh. May we now call on Mr. Imanu Nabikan.
Thank you, Bernie.
Yes, okay, take it away.
And congratulations to our colleagues and for your excellent moderation. So the presentation we received from Jojo, Mina Pokrel, Ms. Lavinia of Pacific Breadfruit Project, Seva, and Seva by Sakiban Ahid. So all these game-changing solutions and models shown how producers cope cooperative can serve their members by ensuring access to quality inputs, information, finance, and markets. And these are mainly reducing production costs and giving smallholders a strong position in their respective value chains. So though Joni covered everything, so I will mainly focus on some presentations and then a single recommendation to embrace the whole of the project. We learned a lot. Mainly Jojo has vividly expressed the challenges associated with the smallholders and family farmers, including access to finance, value chains, climatic risk, social protection, and finally Jojo showed a market system model approach which embraces participation in the value chain transformation and market for poor. And these challenges are mainly same Bangladeshi farmers, Bhutanese farmers, Nepalese farmers, Pacific Islands farmers. The challenges are more or less the same, and to solve and to mitigate or to combat with these challenges, what are the game-changing solutions of the market models, mainly presented by Meena Pokhrel of Nepal Agricultural Cooperative Federation. And she has presented an innovative and holistic financial model embracing need-based financial products for primary production, processing, logistics support, like transport, farmers, small, like AgroMart, and hope participants will get an essence of cooperative value chain model from Meena's presentation. And I definitely share this innovative model to Bangladeshi farmers cooperative and Bangladeshi farmers producer organizations, those who are working with. And the Pacific breadfruit model is yet another game-changing marketing model to add value to traditional crop, one in the takeaway areas and also in the breakover session you mentioned about to value add to the forgotten foods, and these rightly mentioned that these are the food for future model too. And the Sakiben Ahir of Seva shown two encouraging marketing model by self-help, operating by self-help women farmers, and shown how farmers are resilient amidst of the COVID pandemic. So in short, as at the end of this event, so you have less patience to hear more from us. I learned a lot, but I could not express the whole things. And for the recommendation, mainly the essence I received from our experience in Bangladesh, that we see that how these producer organizations are resilient in crisis, as is evident in the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. If we consider them as the driver of this game-changing solution, so we have to advocate with the government, with the global community, that in order to sustain the ongoing transition in all Asia-Pacific countries, South Asia, East Asia, Pacific Islands, the ongoing transition in agriculture from subsistence and semi-commercial agriculture to a thriving agricultural sector that can nourish the countries, government extension agencies must work closely with producer organizations as their main partners. And it is the most promising way forward to the UN Food System Summit also. So I would request AFA to take this recommendation and brilliantly and with a solidarity of the Asian farmers, they can onboard this recommendation to the UN Food System Summit, so that the voice of smallholders, fishers, artisanals, livestock rearers, herders, voice would reach at the decision-making table nationally, regionally, and globally. Thank you, Barney. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Imanon.
Over to you.
Yeah, that was very inspiring, and we look forward to more partnerships with the FAO. And now let us call on from the side of the farmers. Let us hear now Mr. Putasin Pimachan for his response. You're on now, Put.
Okay, yeah. First of all, thank you, Alpha, for organizing this independent regional dialogue. Really useful for me, and I believe really useful for many people. As summarized by Juni on the takeaway, that there are many things to take away. But for me, I think it's about demand and supply. We are the supplier, the farmer who supply to the demand of the market. And if we want to increase our power to benefit more to the market, we need to understand the strength and weakness of ourselves and the competitor, the one that compete with us. They are not so complicated. If we look at demand supply, the supplier are smallholder farmers and the big farmers. Big farmer can be a big company, investor, foreign direct investment, whatever. Do we realize our strength and their strength, our weakness and their weakness? For me, the smallholder farmer, what we have is labor and land. And some farmer in other country don't have land tenure, that even worse, only have labor. And of course, we have some small fund to invest. But the competitor, like the big farmer, they have everything. They have money, they have technology, they have connection to access to market. And that's what we don't have. So in order to increase the power of smallholder farmer, first we try to understand our weakness, our strength, and how we can improve the weakness and strengthening our strength. And I believe this meeting has proved that increasing farmer unity is very important. If we are small and we don't work together, we don't help each other, that's it. It cannot compete with the big farmer, the big investor. And agriculture cooperative is one of the way to join unity of smallholder farmers, to work together, to learn from each other, to increase the negotiation power, and to get ourselves more organized, improve our standard, and interact with the market. So I think one of the important note here is to strengthening our unity through agriculture cooperative and other type of farmer organization can help. Again, I think in the case of Laos, we see domestic market, we see international market, and a lot of time international market require large amount of in volume, big volume, and a lot of time smallholder farmer we cannot produce that large amount of volume. Only big investor can do. Even though we have unity, but
Hello, Put. Are you still there?
thinking about, for example, in Laos, can you hear me? So, for example, in Laos, we have like a deal with Chinese to export 500,000 cows in the next 5 years to Chinese government. But it's too big. It requires too very high investment. Smallholder farmer, even they join hands like cooperative, they cannot meet the demand. So that's for about 500,000 cows. But other thing like 200,000 tons of soybeans and etc. So many items. Smallholder farmer or organization of smallholder farmer cannot compete with big investor domestically or internationally. So I think the alternative for smallholder farmer is not to produce something big like that in a large amount, low quality, lower price and large amount, because we don't have money to invest on it. So I think in the future, especially in the UN FSS, we should try to promote that smallholder farmer access to the higher products that give a higher price, higher profit, but need lesser volume, so that farmer can focus on maintaining excellent quality rather than large volume of products. So that's all. I think this is what will be take away from my side. And thank you again for for this excellent work. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Put. Yeah. So we will take note of all those recommendations and responses. And we already went beyond our time allotment, but this is such substantive discussion. So we thank you everyone for staying until now. So to formally close our activity today, we are now welcoming our ever supportive and untiring partner from the International Fund for Agriculture Development. Let us all welcome Mr. Yuber Bora.
Good afternoon to everybody. Thanks to all of you for your participation to this important regional independent dialogue on the food system summit. No need to tell you how important it is that the voice of the farmer, those who implement the food production system, is clearly expressed and heard at the highest level. As you know, the food system should be a fair deal between producer, consumer, and also the intermediaries. It should be also a sustainable deal, integrating all the dynamics, the demographic, ecologic, technique, economic dynamics. It should be also, a global deal, taking into account the overall system, the overall type of production, including farmers, of course, but fisher folk and herders and all over who are contributing to the food system. Alone, it will be difficult, but is why, farmers' organizations are extremely key. Whatever the modality of organization we have, cooperative, association, enterprise. But together, jointly, a clear model need to be explained, demonstrated, and defended, allowing the family farm system to continue and to prosper, allowing young male and female to live in a decent way from agriculture in their own rural area, allowing healthy and safe food consumption for both, rural and urban citizens. So we in IFAD, we are fully supporting all these ideas and principles. We are engaged with the farmers organization, and as you know, we are supporting through the Farmer for Asia 29 countries in the overall continent. We are supporting farmers organization for better and sustainable incomes through professional, market, and business-oriented farmers organization, through some policy reform support to farmers organization for them to be in a position to respond to the sustainable and win-win food system to put in place, ensuring quality, safe food, healthy nation, minimal intervention, and overall economic prosperity. So you have debated on all these topics, from add value product, governance, cooperative registration. All of that are very important. And I would like to insist that farmers' organizations have to defend their right, have to be competitive, have to be sustainable. And again, we are trying to do our best to support you. I would like to thank you all for the very interesting and fruitful exchange you had. I'm sure that the result of this independent dialogue under the farmers' organization leadership will be highly appreciated and fully integrated in the Food System Summit discussion and conclusion. So again, thanks to all of you and best wishes.
Thank you so much, Hubert. As always, we can all have IFAD as our strong ally. And now this formally ends our activity for today. Tomorrow we will have our last FSS. And before we finally close, I think there's still 99 people here in the room. So are we going to have our photo shoot?
Yes.
Okay. So kindly turn on your videos so we can have a photo of everyone who are still here in the room. Okay, so give it your best smile.
Yeah, please.
Keep smiling. We have several pages here. Okay, so are we done now? Again, we would like to thank everybody for staying on and see you again tomorrow for our last day of the FSS at the regional level.
Thank
Okay,
you,
thank you and
everyone.
bye-bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.